Good evening, everybody. Welcome to 9 o'clock on Saturday evening. This isn't some fucking radio show. Oh no, first 15 seconds, I know swore. God, YouTube, don't demonetize me. Good lord. Well, here we go anyway. Welcome everybody to this Saturday stream. Let's put the camera up a bit. There we go. They're not just watching the floor. Oh god, I left it in the background again. Oh well. I'd say no. But yeah, no, welcome everybody. Hope you're all doing well. And we're all having a wonderful evening. Been a very strange day for me. I was meant to be helping out with the Vickers machine gun collection, but some family stuff came up, so that had to be put on the side. Anyway, hope everyone. Well, obviously there's no one in at the moment, but anyone watching later, hope the audio is okay. Yeah, we're all good. My hair's actually looking normal today, which is good. Give me 2 seconds. I'll just put a thing. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Fantastic. We're all going to message that and they're going to go, oh no. Oh dear. Well, I hope everyone's doing well. This is going to be sort of a casual stream. Well, actually, no. I'm going to try and make it historical, and I might step on some people's toes, maybe with some things, but let's go ahead, shall we? We'll see how we go. I want to get a certain person on to have some chats about some certain things. So let me just hello, how are we? Hope we're doing well. Let me just quickly put some things out in the ether to people. Won't be a second. And then if I just listen it, didn't I? Yes. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Oh, because I fucking sent you. Okay, whatever. Hope you're doing well, Alice, though. Hope you're doing well. Oh, dear. What is going on with this? Why is it not sending? Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. I'm good. Yeah, just have a nice sort of chilled evening, I think, tonight. But we will go have some, obviously, try and make it some historical stuff like we did last stream, which again went on for hours. Jesus. But it was good. It was really, really good. And we covered a lot of base, especially on Sea Lion, considering I just uploaded that video. So that was really, really good. Give me 2 seconds. Why is it not fucking sending? Why is it not sending? No, don't fucking open that link, Jesus Christ. Excuse me. But Alice, I'll send you a link to it in a minute or so. I'm just hoping it sort of sorts itself out at the moment. It's being a bit of a nightmare. But yeah, hope you're doing well though. And I'm good, thank you. But just before you came in, I was saying maybe I will get onto one topic in this video, which I've well, we'll have a chat with it, but did you know that Churchill tank was? Oh dear Lord. That's the controversial opinion of the chat, apparently. Good fucking Lord. Bloody hell. Okay. Oh dear. Hello to everyone joining the stream. Hope you're all well. Hope your Saturday's been okay so far. And all that is good. All that is good. Let me just. Actually, I think I'll get the link in here. Copy. There we go. Fucking wicked. Okay, give me a second. Again, apologies. So lost in air combat. I'm not surprised. A Churchill tank with wings would be fucking terrifying. Jesus Christ. There we go. That bloody goes through. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Oh dear. Well, we'll see if that pops up. I'll put one to John as well if he wants to jump on. Hey. Howdy doody.
Hello.
Hello. I'm good, thank you very much.
But that was a true fact I put in the in the chat.
Yes, careful. You might get targeted by Twitter for misinformation.
Well, how is that misinformation? You show me one picture of a Churchill-made battle tank being shot down, and I will take it down.
And it's not a main battle tank. It's a infantry tank.
All right, my mistake. infantry tank. I'll admit I was wrong with that.
Get its pronouns right.
Oh God, I actually got told off for that, for referring to a ship as she. And
someone told you off for that, but they're all like that's been like the case for 1,000 years. What the fuck?
Yeah, like what was it? It was the Waverley. I don't know if you've heard of it. I was talking on Discord. Basically, it's the last Seagun paddle steamer. Anyway, we were talking about it.
Norwich, John. Sorry, I was prone to John Shanahan. So go ahead. Sorry.
But yeah, we talked about Discord, and I went, "Oh yeah, she's a wonderful old lady," and I got told off for being transphobic.
It's funny these days, isn't it?
Yeah, especially if I'm transgender. Exactly. But yeah, how's your week been?
It's been alright. Obviously, I've been starting the new job on Monday, so that was fun, and I'm absolutely cream crackered, but I'm enjoying it. So,
what's he doing?
So I'm basically working for a company who I'm working in the warehouse side of it, but they basically do like shop fittings. So they basically we basically receive all the stuff into the warehouse. We put it all up into its own different areas, and then it gets shipped out to say businesses like.
I thought you just said you kick the shit out of businesses.
Sorry?
I thought you just said you kick the shit out of businesses. I was thinking, wait, what?
Oh no! No, but we basically kit out businesses.
Okay.
So we deal with clients like Superdry, Primark, TK Maxx, and a lot of others like O2, Sainsbury's, Pret a Manger. So all that fixtures and everything. So when they're like opening a new store, or I'm doing like a rebrand or whatever, they will come to us for the kit and etc. Because we're their clients. Well, they're our clients, I should say. Sorry. So when they're opening a new store, they'll come to us for all the kit to go to there. Yeah. So.
I see. So yeah. Good work then. Good work.
Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed it like so far, and all the people I've been working with are actually really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I won't say the name of the company on because they've only got like one location in the UK. So.
You're worried I might find you?
I'm just worried someone will find me, generally because of what I've said on live streams before. But you know.
Yeah, me.
Well, not just that. Like, I was gonna go into a bit later about it, as I said before. Like, there might be some things I might bring up which might piss some people off, But whatever. I don't care. It's my stream.
Yeah,
My
fair
channel.
enough. Well, I'd say I've had a pretty good week this week.
Well, that's good.
I was donated. There's an old man in my town who passed away. He used to be an old photographer, and I've got literally, I don't know what's in the box. I haven't actually opened it yet, but I'd say 30 or 40 new cameras, which I need to find homes for.
Make sure there's not like a dead cat in there or something.
Just going to quickly open the box.
It's not a furry suit, is it?
No,
just imagine if it was.
Jake, stop trying to sell people. It's, I know about your furry agenda. I've seen the persona.
It will be the end of us. You know that. First we allow them in our bathrooms. Then they're going to come on our trains. Then next thing they're going to be up in Parliament. Like next thing we know, the furry is going to be the Speaker of the House. It's a slippery slope.
Everyone, I like to point out Jake has a persona.
I do not, and I will take you
to court. Found it. I found it.
Oh dear. That is libel. I tell you, that is libel.
See, I like the way you let me onto your live, and you immediately start bullying you, and bullying one of the heaviest armed people in the UK. Great idea, Alice.
Don't you dare fucking start.
Hey, I'm delightful. I am just the best.
That's debatable,
Pardon?
That's debatable.
By the way, where's Levi? Normally he's on here.
I did invite him. He hasn't replied yet. Maybe he's
rude.
Yeah. I was going to make a comment then, but I don't want the stream to get pulled.
Hold on, I'm just going to quickly check my wallet, see if he's in there.
No, the moths will fly out first.
How rude. Remember, I am but a poor, sweet child. Wait, how old are you?
I'm 27. 28.
Ah, sweet, I'm still younger than you. Therefore, I'm still a small, sweet child.
We've had this discussion for before. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
I
don't remember. Hey, again, idiot, how have you not known this? I feel like you should known me long enough to know this,
Yeah.
Anyway, is there anyone in the chat?
I think John is still.
Hi, John. Wag1, G, what's going on?
He's currently dealing with his kids at the moment, so that's fun. So, Levi hasn't seen it yet. Maybe he's in bed getting ready for something tomorrow. I don't know. It's amazing.
Wait, what? Can you message him and tell him to use poppers?
He's at university, not in a gay bar.
I struggle to see the difference.
Then again, it's I struggle to see the difference. Yeah, I was literally about to say the same thing.
I've not. The one time I've been to a university in my entire life was to hook up with someone. So
I was going to say, was that when you were cleaning out the bins, or?
Hey, just because I'm like, how do I put this? Right, not everyone in Wales is poor. There's like one rich guy doing all right for himself.
We might have Simon the Rifleman moron soon.
No. Hold on, I need to quickly read a book so I have any idea what to talk about. Because if with both of you, I'm just going to be like, it's going to be like watching the Three Stooges. Only there's one Stooge.
Well, it's really one of those weird things when the teachers outnumber the students. Actually,
yeah,
well, that's most special schools, but I won't get into that.
Hey, again, stop being racist.
I'm sorry, that's racist in itself. If you're saying that's a racist comment, you're making assumptions that certain people go to these schools.
Right. Something at work happened. So I should probably tell you this because it's funny as hell. Disclaimer: it wasn't me who said it, and if you don't like it, blame Jake. It's his life. Basically, I was talking to this. Right, I'd like to stress he was white. And he came up to me. He went up to me completely randomly. This is when I'm on the forklift. Came up to me and just said, black people are all racist. They say I can't be black just because of the color of my skin. and walked off.
That is the weird. That is the strangest, like, leap into the unknown I've ever heard.
I know, right?
What?
I mean,
What?
I don't think he's wrong, but like, I don't understand.
Just so you don't understand when we'll move on, because otherwise you're going to dig yourself a hole here. And this hole is not very good. And it's very difficult to get back out of again. And it might mean certain charges being brought. So we'll move on to something more lighter. So let's talk about World War II.
So, what's your favorite concentration camp?
Okay, right. I really appreciate everyone watching.
No, I was watching. What was I reading about? Crap, I actually learned something just so I can impress you. I can't remember what it was.
Okay.
I forgot. I don't know. So, do you regret inviting me on now?
What?
Do you regret inviting me on now?
I'm going to invite you on. You're on now.
No, do you regret inviting me on?
Oh no! Just carry on. I'll see if I do. Keep going.
No, because I actually learned a history fact and I can't actually remember what it was.
Absolutely no. Go ahead.
Jake.
Yes.
No, I can't remember what it was. It was I was basically learning about. I was read a book. I want brownie points for that. About the Eastern, about the Stalingrad, and I would like to say, holy crap, that was a shit show. Particularly the Luftwaffe's part.
That's putting it bluntly or lightly, I think. It was a cluster F, to say the least, really. Just a minute.
Are you trying to be good? Like we try not to get you.
No, I'm replying to a message.
Okay. No, okay. But yeah, I was reading about the Luftwaffe's promises to be able to supply it, and they may have been lying.
Oh no! Like, the Luftwaffe promised so much during the war, from how it could achieve air dominance in the Battle of Britain to other things, etc. And here we have Simon.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, dear sir. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yes, I won't be able to be on all that long, I'm afraid, but I at least wanted to stick my head in and say hello.
No, that's absolutely fine. Considering how long my streams go on for currently, I do not blame you.
No, that's my fault.
Yeah, oh, well, that's no bad thing. Yeah, the more topics covered, the better. I'm very busy, and I've got an early start tomorrow over at the railway, so I won't be able to handle that late. But
yes, you two can
having me on.
You and Alice can have a very good conversation about the railway. I must say that.
Oh well, there we are. Yes, yeah. Well, it does have a military connection as well, as we have some great war. We have some great war light railway stuff, which is quite interesting.
Which railway is it?
It's the West Lancashire Light Railway. Sorry, I've hijacked the stream talking about railways here. My apologies.
Absolutely fine.
But yeah, so it's the West Lancashire Light Railway. West Lancashire Light Railway. It's halfway between Preston and Southport, a place called Hesketh Bank.
If I remember rightly, don't you have some former ROD locomotives there?
It's the West. It's the light railway operating. What was the actual terminology? We have a Joffre class, which was British built, but for the French artillery. So prior to the First World War, the French actually used a narrow gauge railway to supply the fortresses at Verdun, and they carried the artillery pieces in and out and ammunition, etc. And they therefore had these little narrow gauge railways already. And when war came along, their manufacturing capacity was obviously not sufficient to keep up with the demands of everything they needed: trucks, tanks, everything else. Well, maybe not tanks by the time the engine was built, but their industry was overstretched. So they contracted to the UK, and we built an engine to their design for use by the French artillery. Built in 1915, and we have that engine. It's out for overhaul now, unfortunately, but it's a good engine, a nice engine, and a brilliant piece of history, obviously, to have. There's quite a few other little engines, battery and diesel engines that work to various military sites. We've got one from RAF Fold, which is, of course, I think the site of the biggest non-nuclear explosion in Europe, when an underground RAF ammunition dump went up, and the crater's still there. But there was a little railway for moving all the ammunition and everything around. So they were used in lots of different military applications. But anyway, I'm rabbiting on, guys.
No, it's fine.
Railway.
It's absolutely fine. No, Alice does a TikTok focusing on a lot of like more older railway history kind of
archive
things.
railway footage, which I totally don't see.
Yeah. So that's your area. What are you more sort of interested in mainline steam rather than narrow gauge, Alice? It's standard gauge
personally,
steam.
I am interested in UK industrial.
Oh well, yes. I say now it's my second love after narrow gauge is standard gauge industrial. So
there's a special J94. Well, I know if it's for the National Club or it'd be an austerity, I say, but J94 shaped hole in my heart, which only it can fill.
Yeah, and again, a loco coming out of the Second World War. Military connection there.
If I remember rightly, weren't they built to? The army was originally looking to mass produce was essentially the Ginty or whatever.
That's right. Yeah.
And instead, they chose the austerity design. I can't remember why actually.
Well, Hunslet had a very good track record, which is the designer of the austerity 060 saddle.
Yeah.
They had a very good track record with rugged industrial designs. And the same is true if they were going to standardize on the 8F. I think they actually did originally. They standardized on the Stania, the LMS 8F.
Really quickly. I've got your name, Jake. That's the one we saw in the Longmore military review. Military railway video.
The footage. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then they built an austerity version of that basically, and then obviously went with the industrial design for the shunter. Because they were easier to maintain, easier to build with non-critical war materials, so you could adapt the design to building these engines with less, no copper fire steel rather than copper firebox, for example, things like that. It was easier to adapt the industrial designs to that purpose than it was. Well, for the tank engine, certainly, it was easier to do that than it was to use it. Try and adapt a mainline design, and they were a more rugged design overall.
Although wasn't it the same? You talk about the firebox. Didn't they do the same on the Q1, or am I mistaken there? Because
they may have done. Yeah, I can't remember. The Q1, Bulleid's Q1.
Again, I can't beautiful remember. Engine.
Yeah, very distinctive. Again, another mainline but austerity design for those. So wartime austerity affected everything. I mean, you see it in British uniform. Obviously, you've got the ersatz webbing being made with brass being replaced with Sheridized steel and so forth. Obviously fashion, clothing, furniture, everything was affected by austerity, including the building of locomotives on the railways. Technically, they weren't allowed to build express passenger engines. You could only build mixed traffic or goods locomotives during the war. And they had, obviously there were designs that came out that were designed to not use large amounts of critical materials. So it's another aspect. That's what you say, the Q1's design is another very interesting aspect of wartime austerity and how it pushed technology in a certain direction.
I agree.
It's interesting.
Have you happened to seen? I've only seen drawings, and I'm not sure if it's an original thing or not. But the electric steam engines which were used in Switzerland before the war. Yes. There were plans of building one for the UK mainline to help handle express passenger runs and boat trains between London and I want to say Southampton. I'm not sure how true it is, and personally, I don't know how well the design would have worked. But
I've
again,
not heard anything about that. No. The thing with the steam electric system, and for those who don't know, this is literally a steam engine with an electric heater in the firebox rather than coal fire or wood fire. The Swiss used that system because of the coal shortage, and they didn't want to build new electric shunting locomotives. So the other advantage of them was, of course, they could work for a short time away from the wire. Once they were boiling, they had a short range away from the wire. But they had bucket loads of hydroelectric power, hydro-generated electricity. So using an inefficient machine, which a steam electric is, using electricity to then boil water rather than just drive an electric motor, is a very inefficient way of doing things. So I can't imagine any design of that nature being positive for you on the main line in the UK.
The UK and the design, if it is a true thing, again, I'm not sure. I literally saw a part of a design for one. but I highly doubt that it would have, if it was a real design, it would highly doubt it would have come to light in the UK, because if there's one thing we have an abundance of at the time, it was coal.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Well, we still do have an abundance of coal. We're just not digging it out of the ground. But yeah, it's
not to get political, but fuck you, Thatcher.
Yeah, well, yes, yeah. Well,
I'm Welsh. I'm allowed to say it.
Absolutely, it's more the Green lobby now. It's the Welsh government, I'm afraid to say. Fran produces beautiful steam coal that we've been using at the railway, and other preserved railways have been using. And obviously, there's been serious political wrangling over opening that up, keeping it open, and instead people are, importing coal from Colombia, which is even more polluting because you're shipping it in by diesel-powered ship. Well, not diesel, very low-grade oil-powered ships, and then burning it in the UK, and it doesn't burn as cleanly. So it's a daft situation, but it's now being perpetuated by those with green leanings, shall we say, in various political parties, that we do not dig this stuff out of the ground, and we certainly don't burn it. As someone with 2 fires at home, I don't agree with that at all. But anyway, sorry, we're going. I don't know if I'm sorry. This stream, I think, is supposed to be primarily military related, and we're definitely getting off topic.
You would be very, very surprised. There's 2 streams I've had to put onto private viewing only, so I wouldn't be.
Was I on both of them?
They went a bit.
Was Alice in both of them? He's just asked.
Yes, she was. Yeah, absolutely. But no, it's absolutely. No,
yes,
it's absolutely. Yeah. I'm trying to find that footage. I think this is the one.
That sounds exciting.
Wow.
That little trumpet sting sounded exciting.
Yeah, so I showed this on my last stream, but the thing is, the only thing was neither Alice or Levi could hear the audio. But I'll send you. If it wants to download, I can send you it both to you because it's actually very, very good. It's a shame I can't put the actual audio on the thing because it just didn't show, but I showed it. It was through IWM. And it's basically it comes on Army Magazine number 5 and main title. It basically shows sort of army training in sort of the 50s, etc., and then the early 60s. Shows the Longmoor Railway. Then also goes into the behind the scenes color footage and the X footage used during the making of the Pegasus Bridge scene for Longest Day as well.
Oh, fascinating!
It's really fascinating, really well done.
There's really good stuff on the IWM that's sort of buried. It's not that easy to find necessarily, but there's quite a bit on.
But that's like the recent SAS training video that pops up like a couple of weeks ago. And I spoke to a couple of people who know some of the guys who are in the footage and who were a bit baffled of why it was released.
Yeah.
They're a bit not too keen on that, but it's the way of the world and how things happen today.
Someone somewhere has decided it could be declassified.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I just ask, because I've only really seen it on TikTok, so whenever I hear it, I see a massive grain of salt. Is it true that the UK Army, I believe, is not being treated as a Tier 1 fighting force, or is that fake news?
By the US. The US, I forget who in the US, but the US are leaning on the UK to invest more money in its armed forces.
See, I'm hearing people say it's just the Army and then it doesn't apply to the Navy or the Air Force, or I'm not, because again, I'm trying to find information, but I'm very much struggling.
I've not looked into it. It's not something that's sort of on my radar.
Well, I think the general thing is, yes, the Army has reduced in size majorly, absolutely majorly. It's way smaller than it was before the start of the First World War. However, I think it's always been a small professional force in its entirety. Obviously, it's expanded during the First and Second World Wars, and so to an extent during the Boer War. But I would say it's
obviously the period of national service after the Second World War through to the early 60s, of course.
Exactly. But as a general rule, even during national service, it tried to keep an idea of professionalism at its core. So
the regular Army did not like national service.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That is certainly true. They didn't like the fact national service was foisted on them. They thought it was actually the resources of training the national servicemen, the resources needed for training national servicemen were not seen as being well used by many in the Army. Let's say. Yeah. Oh, a fascinating period, the transition back to a volunteer army in the 60s, in the very early 60s. Yeah, interesting period.
Absolutely. Oh God, no, not this again, LD. Jesus Christ. No, we so in the comments, we had Devin on a couple of weeks ago, and we.
I'm filling in for Devin with the shirt, I think.
We sort of bombarded him with Cockney rhyming slang to his utter bewilderment and just.
Well, I probably wouldn't do all that well with that either, I'm afraid.
It was quite amusing. It was quite amusing to say the least. But anyway, but no. I think I sort of want to take the stream in a bit of sort of the vein I did with the one I did was it last week? Yeah, about last week. I think it was last weekend, as far as I remember. I sort of went on a bit too much to say about Operation Sea Lion, but in the general sort of vein, because obviously I just put up the last video I done was about that. It was about an hour long or so. So I sort of hinted on bits, and we went over the EDOB website, which is quite good. I don't know if you've come across the EDOB. It's basically like it's basically almost like Google Maps, but plotted on each individual placement of coastal and inland defenses throughout the whole of the United Kingdom, basically. Those that are still there and those that were there at the time. And they rely on people in the local areas who were on the site or whatever to upload like photos of the defenses, how they are now, kind of thing. It's very, very good, actually.
Very history of it, yeah. Being what has been preserved, what hasn't been preserved. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, and it's fascinating because it shows you on the map. If I'll try and bring it up actually here. Give me 2 seconds. And it shows the sort of the lines itself, of the stop lines, etc. Also defensive points, and also you could see that defensive depth idea and how fortified the United Kingdom really, really was, and how utterly ludicrous.
Well, the other aspect to consider as well is that, you know, I think, well, I know there was a war game run on the basis of Operation Sea Lion.
Yes, 1974 at Sandhurst,
yeah, in the 50s. And the result of which was very promising, actually, of course. I know whether there was any, weighting of the scales in favour of the British defence, I don't know. But it's true to say that the air power or no, the Royal Navy would have piled into the Channel. And the number of German troops who would have got ashore, other than perhaps by parachute landing, is debatable. It's an interesting, very interesting topic.
I actually had a debate with this about someone who is, I won't name them, but they are a long-serving member with the RNLI, and we were talking about the feasibility of the Germans even being able to cross the Channel in I think it was during a space of I think it was like 6 hours, in giving the ships they had what the landing craft were like, and honestly, we doubt that they would even make it over.
Yeah, there was a lot of craft. Yeah. They did have some purpose-built and designed landing barges, but of course, most of what they were, a large proportion of what they were intending to use were converted civilian craft, Dutch barges and things of that nature.
Don't get me wrong. On their own, it has been proven that they can do the voyage. I mean, there's a narrowboat that did the voyage, which made the Channel.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yes.
But it's realistically being...
Sorry. The problem is it's even with, say, something like the invasion of Normandy, that was, yes, done in June during summer, but even then you had rough seas and you just come out of a storm over the 4th and 5th of June.
Yeah, you literally had a break in the weather.
Yeah, bear in mind that the German crossing was planned for September, so you have autumn storms rocking the Channel as it is, and that's difficult enough for a small destroyer or a escort destroyer or anything smaller, let alone like river barges. And I think the rough estimate was about 1,700 like small river and like barge craft will be implemented within the invasion itself. Especially because the original invasion plan was to land about 30 divisions in the first wave between Lyme Regis and Folkestone, which is an insane like area to try and cover with that sort of, considering that even that was the initial plan in the first week before it was thought of to land in a smaller front of about 9 divisions between, I think it was Brighton and then Folkestone, or Brighton and Dover, basically.
And this is where a lot of the arguments between the branches of the Wehrmacht came to a head, because the Navy didn't want the Navy didn't think it could protect a landing even of that size, and that's why they demanded air superiority. They wouldn't do it without air. Basically, that was the line given.
Eric Rader always, after came up from OKW in regards to Alfred Jodl, basically calling it a river crossing on a broad front. It's sort of like a kick in the face, kick in the teeth for the Kriegsmarine, who have basically just come out of the Norway campaign very heavily bludgeoned, losing a light cruiser, a heavy cruiser, and 10 other destroyers in the space of a few days.
Brand new ship.
That's basically half their destroyer fleet gone. And it's a bit tricky, and as I've pointed out multiple times before in my video, and I did actually point it out in my talk I did at Living History Festival last year as well. When you compare the Kriegsmarine knew full well that they were outnumbered completely, not just 5 to 1, 10 to 1, 100 to 1, especially in destroyer forces. Around the United Kingdom at any one time during the entirety of the war, you had around about 87 destroyers. Especially in the early war period, I should say. Between Sheerness and Harwich, which is basically the largest point of the Thames estuary, you have about 30 destroyers for the Royal Navy during that period of mid to late 1940. So it's very much an overwhelming, just it's not going to go well for anything. It's not saying that the Germans won't be able to land something. It's always a case of they won't be able to resupply. That's the main issue. So even if they landed
with the element of surprise,
again,
it's then the seaborne resupply which would be hit.
Exactly,
and as was seen in Normandy, that was essential. Obviously, hence all the resources that were dedicated to it, Pluto and Mulberry Harbours. You need before you capture a port.
Exactly.
And if the ships aren't even going to get into that port, whether it's something you've built or something you've captured, then you can't resupply by air.
I have had people ask about the Italian Navy and whether or not they could be utilised. However, as far as I can see, they would be largely trapped in the Mediterranean.
Yeah, they wouldn't get. They probably would never get past the Strait of Gibraltar, really, because it was with the Italian Navy performed during the whole of the Second World War in general. Good bits here, bad bits there. One of the main actions before, say, the Battle of Cape Matapan was more of sort of a draw, and then Cape Matapan happened, and then it's literally the Italian Navy doesn't really come out in force at all throughout the rest of the war. You have the attack on Alexandria, which was very successful, but then you have things like Taranto as well. So it's a bit of sort of a back and forth with the with the attack with the Regia Marina. And not to say
the issue you would have had is it would have given you a very clear early warning that something, if you've got the Italian fleet steaming out of the Med and heading north, I mean, it's not something you can hide. So
it's not.
Yeah, they
would have been intercepted, I think, and it would have
not
allowed
on the Italians.
And especially that, it's the same as well with the 2 battleships they did have at that period before the Bismarck class had come out later. Well, basically in 1941, you have Scharnhorst and Gneisenau. No, Scharnhorst.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Scharnhorst and Gneisenau. Basically, it would be they weren't really planning to use them in the invasion itself because it would be very obvious when they leave port. In Wilhelmshaven or Wilhelmshaven, thank you, or the Baltic ports, it would be very obvious if they left those ports towards the Channel, and so they had to sort of do it primarily with cruisers and destroyers.
I'm just going to have to nip off and feed the cat, Jake. I'm sorry, I'll be back.
That's fine. That's absolutely. No, absolutely. No,
he's shouting at me.
Great. Good news.
Yeah.
I found Monster.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm down to my last 6 though, so I might need to go to the shop at some point.
I'll ask you a question in a second, Crank. That's quite a good question, actually. I think I can probably guess one or two things. I know one of his favorite cores, if it's still the same, but I know he's a special plate in top, but I'll ask him in a second. Let me just bring up if I do.
Oh, it's Cranking. Hello, Crank. I like you. Your comments are funny and clever.
Simon, you've been asked what is your favorite regiment?
Oh, the Loyals. There you go. Easy. Loyal North Lancashire Regiment.
I thought it was
my local regiment. That closely followed by the King's Own.
What's your favorite corps?
Gloucester's.
Okay, right, fair enough. Favorite corps? That's difficult, actually. That's a difficult one. I'm pretty much bound to say Royal Engineers, but I do like the RASC as well. I like the Royal Army Service Corps. They were literally everywhere, so they're very useful. Well, they're interesting because they turn up everywhere in different roles, and obviously all trained as infantry, of course. Well, I say different roles. Obviously, their role is supply, but in different specific roles as individuals. And they, of course, were all trained as infantry, which was an interesting element of the corps. But yeah, Royal Engineers, I think, would be the top of the list for corps troops.
Absolutely. I think,
particularly during the Great War, because the Royal Engineers just did so much. The various roles the various roles. Oh, here's some new technology. I will give it to the Royal Engineers. They can deal with it. All the signals, like the field telephones, and they can work out how it works. Here's a new form of transport. We'll give it to the Royal Engineers first. They can work out how it works, and things like that. So it's the Royal Engineers are very interesting.
Just so you're aware, Jake, if I need to dart quickly, I've just received an email asking me to go on call. So
no worries.
Accept that. But if I need to go, I need to go because someone's having presumably a very bad night.
Yep, no worries.
All right, thank you.
No worries.
Just thought I'd keep them in the loop.
That's fine. Favorite corps is the catering corps, just because we sustained.
That sort of fits in with mine because, of course, they were spun off from the Royal Army Service Corps during the course.
I would say they're probably the most effective corps of the British Army. They probably would lead to the deaths of many, many men.
They get an unfair rap, I tell you.
I know, yeah, absolutely do.
I've had food from ex-catering corps guy at an event, and it was brilliant. So they whether he was putting on a special, whether in out of service he was putting on a better turn with the field cooker, I don't know. But
I think one of my I think favorite parts of like the whole Spike Milligan memoirs is mainly the audio book, because he's narrating them himself. It adds more emphasis to him, but he's talking about one of the cooks they had when they were still in Bexhill. Hey Levi, when they were still
hello Levi.
Jake's mate Levi. I like that. Hello Levi.
It's Mr. Moore. Pleasure to see you again, Mr. Moore.
Nice to see you. How are you doing?
Pretty good. I'm in London at the moment, looking after the cats whilst parents are away, and I just need to find my kit for Chatham tomorrow.
Surrounded by Southerners. Terrible.
You're in the belly of the beast.
Yeah, tell me about it. I actually passed for the first time a sign here in Lewisham that said basically there's a free warm centre for people to come and have a chat and keep warm this winter. So, yeah, proof cost of living is hitting.
Tories.
I was just saying before, I'm very lucky in that I have an open fire in the front room and a wood burner.
I've got that as well. I'm currently drying my laundry on it.
Yeah, this is it. The 21st century is here, drying your laundry in front of the fire. Yeah,
I will.
Why do rich people insist on using
I'm not one to put the camera on, but I'll see if I can turn the camera around. Hang on.
Yeah. You can't produce too much smoke now, considering with the new laws, you can only produce 3 grams of smoke an hour.
That's correct. Yes, I burn
nothing but
kiln dried wood.
Have they not been up north?
And smokeless fuel.
Fair enough.
Have they not been up north?
Okay, it's not allowing me to turn the camera around, so I'm just going to have to, do that, and so you can see the fire burning at the moment.
Ah, beautiful.
I like to point out
that's nice.
Yeah.
We had ours on earlier, and it's still nice and ambiently warm in here, so I've not
that's good.
Heading on. I will need to head off shortly.
Absolutely. I
can stick around a little bit longer.
That's fine. I completely forgot what I was on about. Thank you, Levi, for
We'd been on Operation Sea Lion, and then we'd sort of got
Yeah.
into the Italian Navy and their performance during
Oh, the
war.
Regia Marina.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the Regia Marina. They had some very good ships, but their main issue was basically the lack of radar. And the other one was later in the war. They basically ran out of fuel, so they couldn't be asked to risk their ships, and they couldn't send the ships out.
Well, let's just say the Regia
The
Marina
Japanese had that problem as well, of course.
Yeah, I was about to say that's very similar. Yeah.
Especially after Cape Matapan, they did not like fighting at night.
Yes, you could say they just suddenly got scared of the dark.
Cruisers have a tendency for their turrets to jump in the air.
It's bad when the aircraft carriers are having a pop. I'm just saying.
That's a funny story. The aircraft carrier basically going, right, I want a piece of this.
Yes.
The Middleby crew were very, very keen to get stuck in. Let's just say the least before they were told.
I was going to say, imagine being gunnery on board an aircraft carrier. You don't get, at that time, you don't get to do it. Maybe obviously the US Navy in the Pacific, you kept quite busy if you're on an anti-aircraft mount. But otherwise,
Yeah,
you want to have a pop as well. You've not had to fire these guns in anger and all this time, and suddenly there's an opportunity.
Yeah, a heavy cruise at less than 1,000 yards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about it as well from the aircraft carrier's point of view. So you're on, what was it, a 4.25-inch anti-aircraft mount, and the gunnery officer is right. Set your elevation to only 30 degrees.
Yes, yeah.
Outload the aircraft. Yeah. I'll quickly bring up EDOB like I did last time, because then give a chance to Simon.
We could do a POV as a Chinese spy balloon.
we are not. Oh dear Lord!
Welcome to the 21st century. It's incredibly.
Although I don't understand with that. What could they see that couldn't already be seen by satellite?
That's a very good question, because even if it could see something, the only way it could communicate it would be via a satellite link.
Exactly. And China has millions.
It was on its way to.
No, I think China's actually only got 300 or so.
It was on its way to crashing Roswell and start a whole new alien thing.
Oh yes.
The Close Encounter of the Number 23.
Personally, my theory is that it was a distract. The Russian government asked China to do something blatantly obvious, because let's face it, it's not exactly sneaky like you would want a spy thing to be. So the Russian government just said, "Hey, can you do something to maybe distract people from the war in Ukraine, possibly?"
I am not certain that's the reason, but I think it was done overtly with the intention it would be seen. And that
I think it was most likely a weather balloon that did actually get loose. But at the same time, it's just hilarious.
They found explosives on board so if ever this got caught,
one thing I will say, the bottom line for me is I've been enjoying the memes. So
God, yeah. I do have to say though that it's like of all the things to strike at America, you've gone back to 1944, 45, and taken an idea from the Japanese.
Yeah, that's the interesting parallel as well as the Japanese balloons dropping mines and things. Fascinating incendiary devices.
Simon, I've sent you probably one of the best memes that come out of this.
Dreamception.
I sent you one of the best memes I've seen out of the whole of the situation. But
right.
So can you see what I've got on screen now?
Yes, I can.
This is EDOB.
I didn't know that.
So it shows basically the stop lines, defensive lines,
right, there we go. Yeah.
Oh, so Jakey, I can see the poop from here.
So for example, if I could put it on satellite as well, so you can see it more in detail sometimes as well. But if I zoom down, say towards,
there's one literally surrounding London. I've just noticed that.
Balloons. Sorry. The 99 red balloons memes have been some of the best.
Oh, that one was funny.
Yeah.
Yes, that's literally what I've just sent you. That is literally what I've just sent you.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I just noticed
to warn us.
Jake, can you go over London? I believe I saw one just defensive line literally circling it.
That's probably the M25 before it was the M25.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's definitely something designed to keep you out of London. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
M25 does that.
So here's like all the defenses around, say Dover, for example. So each triangle, upwards triangle, is a pillbox. Red means it's still there. Yellow means it's been removed at some point.
Right.
You have coastal batteries. It's basically like these searchlights, and some of them it should show sometimes a picture of it. If I go here, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but it gives you like a brief description of what it could be, or what it is.
If you could drop me a link to that, Jake, I'd be very interested.
Oh no, absolutely! It's absolutely brilliant. Like, for example, if we go say Preston, so let's have a look around Preston.
Yeah. Well, I know of some of the bits and pieces around Preston. There was a Home Guard coastal defence. If you go up to, you'll need to probably zoom out and go a little bit further.
Really quickly, just whilst we're on this, I'll ask Mr. Moore. Do you remember the Romney Hive and Dymchurch engines during the Second World War? They were adorable.
They were. There was one. It was Hercules, I think, was rebuilt as the armored locomotive, and of course they did a.
She actually shot down a aircraft. Somehow.
Purportedly, yes.
I have a theory.
Go on. Sorry. Yes.
I have a theory that the pilot may have thought that she was a lot bigger than she was and timed his pull up a bit too late. Possibly. That's my own personal theory.
Possibly. But the apocryphal story regarding that is that someone in the War Office saw a railway line along the Kent coast and went, "Oh, we need an armored train on that for coast defence," not realising it was a railway. That's the apocryphal story, anyway. Are we on Preston here, Jake? Where I can't.
We are indeed, yeah.
So if we scroll left a bit to the coast, so if you go west, and then
for the taste of it.
Yeah, it zoom in a little bit more. Where are we here? And yeah, so let's go west a little bit more if we can. Will it have it? So
I don't know if you heard that, but I found a spider and it scared the crap out of me.
You see the lake right on the coastline there?
Oh, yeah.
Lake. Yeah, zoom in on that. Right, they got it. I heard about the spiders. Somewhere around, well, it's not shown on here, so it can't have been part of those defense. There was a coastal defense battery here to defend against German U-boats, because that may well be
that one's saying it's removed. That one's saying removed.
Right, yes, it was there. It was a US Air Force base at Wharton, which is now a BAE.
Okay, yeah.
And this was they put a coastal defense battery in, manned by the Home Guard. With the intention of defending against U-boats infiltrating up the estuary to commit sabotage.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
Quite interesting. It's completely random, really, because it's just a pleasure lake, and we're so removed from the south coast, and all the rest of it. If that sort of patch towards, I'm trying to orientate myself here, the patch of green towards the left-hand side of the left-hand end of the lake. If you zoom in a little bit further, that was where it was, and it was to shoot out. The idea was they would be able to defend the estuary from U-boat infiltration. They were also concerned about them torpedoing the lock gates at Preston. So they're just a little bit of local interest.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then also here as well, like just up from there, you've got the anti-tank obstacles as well, which is shown here on the photo as well. Which is quite good.
Yeah, they are still there. I remember those from. Used to play rugby. The school you can see just above that. I used to play rugby against. Rugby pitches.
And then,
anyway, yes.
We've got old aero shelters here. Like this one's been removed. All like these small ovals aero shelters.
Sorry, I do apologise. I'm just a little bit curious what Levi's doing, because he sounds like he's losing a fight.
Are you okay, Levi?
Well, I'm in the top room trying to explore the cupboards where some of my kit is, because I need to find the kit I'm going to be doing to Chatham tomorrow. And I've just had to deal with a spider, so I won that fight, but he did get the first blow. I'm not a fan of spiders. The last time there was a big one in this room, I remember, what was it? I was 17, and I remember seeing it, and then I remember being downstairs. I don't remember anything in between.
What you got to remember with spiders is they eat clothes.
Well, as long as he stays out of my sight, it doesn't drop on me.
They are little moth killers. So
but at the same time, if a spider drops me, I will turn into a little girl.
Okay, right. That could be entertaining.
Good to know, and thank God I'm recording. On
that bombshell, I'm afraid I'm going to have to drop off, Jake. It's been very
no worries.
It's been lovely meeting you.
Lovely meeting you guys too.
Thank you for popping on, and I'll send you the link, Simon, because it's fascinating. As like, for example, like the golf course I'm showing here, all these were anti-tank ditches across the golf course.
Yes,
and then
fascinating. Because you don't think about in the Northwest, you know, you're so removed from everything that was going on. You think they wouldn't have done anything up there, but they did, like, all over the country.
It's crazy, and then like obviously around like the airfield here, and and like it's great, and especially in certain stop lines, etc. The amount of detail that's in this is brilliant. But yeah, no, thank you so much for jumping on, man.
Really good being on, and I've enjoyed it. And I'll hopefully be on again in the future. It'd be good to
absolutely,
get
mate.
again.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
Good night for now, and obviously speak to you in a bit.
No,
guys. See ya.
Bye.
And then there were fewer.
I like to point out when him and Jake was having a serious discussion, I was just like, wow, I feel unequipped for this.
Would you like us to get back to talking about weird, horrible things instead?
If that's okay, yes.
Thanks everyone for watching the stream. Really.
Normal service shall resume, Chris.
Oh,
I'm just saying, I told you, I'm an idiot. I feel like you should have expected this when you asked me to come on.
But the thing is, like, you guys are saying about the balloon, but then you have that other thing that was over, the other thing that was over Alaska now recently as well that was shot down.
Another one.
Well, it was something else, and it hasn't been identified what it was. Yeah, I don't believe unless
it was ET.
Sorry. Oh, yeah,
it was ET.
People are thinking it's a UFO, but we don't know. Oh God, here he is.
Well, technically, if it's a flying object and you don't know what it is, it's a UFO.
Yeah.
But
by the way, have you guys seen the advert?
They've tried to get away from using UFO as a general thing. It's unidentified
aerial object now or something.
Yeah, UAO or something.
If it's in the sky and you don't know what it is, it's not implying it's alien. It's saying I don't know what that is.
I know, but I think U.S. intelligence and the U.S. Military has basically wanted to try and go away from using UFO because it emboldens certain nutters with.
They were the ones who helped spread the UFO conspiracy theory to help hide what they were actually doing.
Times change, and we change with the times, Alex.
Make me.
No.
Zeta quises, philosophers man sissy.
Crap, he's going posh.
So it's obviously things of Latin.
He's going Latin, so very, very dangerous territory.
Quick, send him up north, give him a pie and a canary, and send him down the mine. I can fix him.
Oh, I don't like this with your push, yeah, Latin.
A pie and a canary. Jesus Christ.
You know, get him a job as a whippet polisher. It can help.
A whippet polisher.
I don't know. I saw it one of the those northern meme videos. I don't know what that is either. I'm too scared to fight. I'm just too scared to Google it.
Northern memes.
Yeah.
You like your chips and gravy, do you?
Chips and gravy.
I used to live up north. That's the thing. My parents decided it's a good idea to get away from the poverty by moving up north. Not the best idea they ever made, but you know.
Knowing how the UK works, going up north is going to the poverty rather than away from the poverty.
Yeah, I know, but remember,
that's like moving to Spain because you don't like the heat.
Yeah, basically. I'll go with that.
All I have to say is we were going from Wales.
So you're saying that Wales is worse off than the north?
Yeah.
That's like going from the Congo to
that's
Rwanda.
Quite a statement.
That's like going from the...
Yeah, exactly, Jake.
Yeah.
Oh, Jake's husband. Hi, Jake's husband.
It's other Jake.
It's Jake Mark II.
I think he's in the.
We are really going to have to decide on a naming system. Jake the First, Jake the Second, but then each person is going to refer to a different Jake as Jake the First.
Oh yeah, good point.
Jake the Dick. Fuck you. I didn't hear that. What was that?
I'm not repeating it because he's a dick himself.
Let's repeat that.
Oh, Jake the Dick. Hi, Mr. Husband Jake. Hi, Mr. Jake's husband. How are you? I'm good.
Yeah, you did have to make it even more complicated with double barreling your names, didn't you? So you're both Jake Andrew Brown, Jake Andrew Brown.
Yeah. The thing is that with all my middle
names, is he actually called Jake as well?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes, he is. Yeah,
That's gonna be confusing.
Yes, it was.
and it is.
So when you
but
were at a bar and you're first talking, like, so his friend comes up to like get you two talking. He goes, "Hey Jake, this is Jake. Jake, did you know Jake's into history? Because other Jake knows you're into history, and I think other Jake would like Jake to tell you about history. Jake's an alright guy, Jake."
you're really emphasizing that we met in person for the first time.
Oh yeah, I
no.
forgot.
Yeah, I've explained this before. But no, thing is, especially with
Sorry, really quickly, Levi, spit out your phone.
So what am I spitting?
Your phone out.
I've just found my Swiss greatcoat.
Sorry, mate, Jake. What were you saying? Sorry.
dead
I've got
moth
2
in here.
middle names as it is anyway, so it does look like I've been fucking awarded something now. So
Yeah. Oh, guess what? TikTok's going to give me money soon.
well, that's good.
Okay, what have you done?
I've actually developed a half decent fan base, and I quite like them all because they're all funny.
And you were annoyed about a month ago that you weren't getting enough and like all this, but no, looky now, you're doing well.
No, I was annoyed that the person who kept liking my videos the most is currently trying to get engaged to a toy train.
Alice, does this mean that if you're taking money from TikTok, then you are quite literally a paid stooge of the People's Republic of China?
Yes.
Ali, sir.
Hold on, I haven't got your sellotape. I need to do my own.
You're going to go all Bing chilling on us?
Yeah. Hold on, let me get my pump. I need to do another balloon.
Foot pump or air pump?
No, I'm just gonna get one of those ones where it does like. Oh, apparently. Oh, yeah, I know they had an earthquake. Why are you telling me?
Well, apparently Turkey had an earthquake. I think that's old news at the moment.
I don't know. My phone insists on reminding me. Who knew?
Alice, remember the earthquake in Turkey.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I know.
So Levi, this will be one for you. Have you seen Laserpig's current video on the rebuttal about his conversation on his live stream thing?
Yes.
Which one?
Well,
The one with Gonzalo Lira?
Yeah, so he made a rebuttal video.
Well, I remember watching it live in the library, and I remember thinking, Gonzalo, I like you, but at the same time, you're not exactly coming off this rather clean. And I remember Laserpig just simply coming across as one simple word, and that's see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, he does explain in his rebuttal thing how he didn't handle himself very well at all.
Oh, he can say that again. I mean, there are very few people who, just listening to their voice, I feel like they need a punch in the face. He was one of them.
If I may, I have watched both the live and I have watched the rebuttal.
Yes.
Now, I'm not particularly fond of either. However, looking at simply those two events, I feel like I have to sway with Laserpig on this. I do apologize if that's controversial. However, during the live and during the rebuttal, quite frankly, I think that Gonzalez, whoever he was, didn't handle himself the best to begin with. I feel like it was less of a debate and it was more of a let's try and make some people look stupid. So therefore, I think Laserpig's response, and it also Destiny's for rage quitting, because I don't blame him for that, was more than justified. However, that's just my opinion. If you disagree, do that. I don't care. I'm allowed. Yeah, that's just my way I look at it.
I'm not very keen on the Destiny guy in the first place anyway. I think he's a bit weird.
Is it him or Vorsh who keeps on going on about child age consent and all the rest of it?
Yeah, it's.
I suppose for legal reasons we'll have to say allegedly, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I try not to get into that sort of stuff, but it's very dubious at most, to say the least. I don't know.
If I'm being honest with you, I guarantee you on all sides, you dig into each and every one of them, you're going to find stuff you don't like.
Oh yeah,
so,
absolutely. That's
not.
Like I did. I know Laser was on a stream. Well, it was a Twitch stream, I think it was anyway, like 2 weeks back. That's been uploaded to Twitch. I'm trying to remember the name of the stream he was doing. It was quite funny. I was watching it for about an hour, and then it just sort of went off the rails when they were sort of talking about the YouTube historians they did and didn't like, and it just went off a bit of like, okay, this just seems a bit arsehole, really.
If you're not seen one of your own streams, dude.
But no, but like,
I agree.
To be fair though, on Jake's live streams, when we are behaving like arseholes, we are conscientiously behaving like arseholes.
Yeah.
One thing I will say though is that I do agree with you doing that. I mean, I've already spoken to Jake about this. There is already a YouTuber / historian who I currently have fallen out of favor with. However, I'm not going to name them simply for the fact is that I don't agree with that. I'm not going to tarnish their image because I have a personal thing against them. Yeah. And the way Laser Pig acted in that way, I think, he shouldn't have done it. So I agree with Jake.
Yeah, because they basically go through some of the ones he likes, and he goes off on. Do you know? I think Levi knows the channel TIK.
Oh, Tick, yes. I really like him. I know there are other people who don't, but I really like him. He does an awful lot of source digging.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, no,
He reads more books for 1.5 hour long video than I've read probably in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh, I read one of them today.
What's your view on his more economic and political side of videos?
Well, for Tick?
Yeah.
Oh, he seems to be one of the few people who actually, when it comes to discussing what he discusses, of actually reading the source material, i.e. Mein Kampf. And as a result, it's like, well, if the bad guy is actually saying what he actually did, chances are some of the other stuff in there actually represents what he's going on to try and do.
And the problem is when that's been explained, you have a lot of people in the comments and then other rebuttal videos complaining, oh, then he's just this. So no, he's not saying he agrees with it. He's trying to understand what they were saying.
Oh yeah, I mean that's point one of addressing any problem. It's like
exactly.
You see, like diplomas, like you don't have to agree with burning Christians like Nero did in ancient Rome. But at the same time, if you want to understand why you did it, you do have to kind of look at the mind of a mad Roman emperor rather than look at it from a modern day.
Yeah, I will kind of echo what Cranks just said actually in the comments. Like, and I will sort of agree with that. Like, I don't really get where Laser is coming from sometimes, because he labeled Gonzalo, whatever his bloody name is, as a communist throughout his rebuttal video. Yet, I don't really know where he lies. Not like I'm trying to sort of pin him down or anything, but I don't really know where he's sort of getting at sometimes.
I do agree with you.
Sorry, hang on. Tick says socialists are Nazis. No, Nazis are socialists because they're National Socialists. Nazi is a contraction of National Socialist in German.
Yeah.
And the National Socialists didn't just call themselves socialists to fool the people. Like, if that was the case, why is almost everything economically, business-wise, and philosophically, and just ideologically, was it socialist in its form?
Oh yeah, I mean, so it's I wouldn't call being forced out of your own company and replaced with someone who's a member of the party being a free independent business, because what that is basically nationalism by another name. Instead of buying the company outright and putting it under government use, you basically get rid of the head of it and you put one of your own government people in charge.
Exactly.
It's another way of skinning the cat. It's like you've still skinned the cat.
Exactly. Like it's right. It is tricky because different people describe these certain ideologies in different ways, and that's understandable, and people can have their own opinions. But at the same time, we need to come to a consensus about what these things are, what fascism is, what this is, for example, because otherwise everything's just lost in the ether of whatever. And it is tricky. I do think sometimes Tick does go too far by pushing it. But
I think that's part of Tick's prerogative, though, his sort of USP. It's like
exactly.
He's selling.
Like, well, That's
He's
what I'm
selling
just saying at the
himself
same
as
time.
basically the guy who is willing to not stick to tanks.
Yeah. The thing is, I've spoken with several like old school socialists who agree with him.
Wait, what?
Who agree with him and say yes, he is, because like that was the main appeal of here's the thing. It's like, and people go on this whole thing. Oh, but Hitler killed the socialists, but so did the Bolsheviks.
Oh yeah,
Didn't
the
everyone
Bolsheviks
kill
went
socialists?
after.
Yeah,
Well, if I remember my
the
A-level
people-
history,
Literally everyone.
Like the people who took over in the February Revolution were socialists. They were then taken over again by the Bolsheviks, who were again more radical socialists.
yeah, if I remember my A-level history, you had the Bolsheviks. They went after the Mensheviks, who were the, for lack of a better term, the more moderate communists.
Yeah,
And then they also went after what was called the SRs, the social revolutionaries, who were sort of socialist anyway.
yeah.
And then of course in the Civil War, you have them going after all the various other sort of independence groups. So you had them take on the anarchists in Ukraine, what were called the Blacks and the Greens. And then you have them invade Georgia and Armenia, who all try to set up their own people's republics anyway.
But no. Social Democrats are not Nazis, and like no.
Sorry, social democrat. What?
How do we always get onto politics?
Well, we mentioned a historian who refuses to stick to tanks. So I think that was how.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Ow.
Yeah. That's something that does like he is brought up to it. Like even I was seeing it in other comments sections of other videos trying to go after him as well. Like he should just stick to this. It's like he can do whatever he bloody wants. It's his own bloody channel.
There is
With all
also
due
the
respect,
fact
if
that
someone tries to tell me what to do with my own platform, they can get fucked.
And I was like, let him do whatever he bloody wants. If you don't agree with it, don't fucking watch it. Like it's like
there is also the inescapable fact that if you want to know how a war started, you don't just stick to tanks.
exactly.
Agreed.
So if you want to know how something came about, you do need to investigate the other aspects of it, which is not just the military side of things.
Like at the end of the day, we're not saying they're one and the same, but they're saying like if you ignore the absolute similarities, it's a bit bloody dull-minded. Like there's a lot of differences, yes, as well, but you got to accept there are similarities with anything. But it's the same thing. It's like, but the same people who sort of say, "Oh no, they weren't," kind of thing. But like, there's a lot of people on that other side who say Tick's wrong, which is fair enough to disagree. But they also try and claim that the Nazis were capitalist. Like, I'm sorry, but if
Didn't
you
they
just
nationalize
weren't.
everything? Did they try and nationalize literally everything?
It depends on how you define nationalize, because, how did the quote go? I think it was from Hitler's second book. Why bother with nationalizing things such as factories and banks when we can nationalize the people themselves?
That'll do. That'll do it. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So it's like they didn't nationalize in the traditional sense of like, I don't know, the Labour government buying British Rail and putting it under government ownership. They basically made every single person a member of the government, and therefore everything became part of the government anyway.
Yeah. Although you said my trigger word, but yeah.
No, I do kind of agree with you there, Luke. Like, yeah, you can't. Yeah, blanket statement. Yeah, it's tricky. It is really, really tricky because again, history in itself, and also with like economic history, and also it's such a confusing minefield of fuckery that it's very difficult to sort of think. And as I said again, like different people will give you different answers to the same question. As with everything, like
do you want and don't listen to idiots?
Yeah, yeah. You're basically saying do what you want, basically. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's my mistake. Dyslexia is my superpower.
No, you know, it's tricky. It is tricky, but like people say, oh, like the national socialists were capitalist. It's very tricky to try and make the argument, considering that they saw capitalism and Marxism in the same vein as through their idyllic racial lens of that was the enemy.
They viewed capitalism as, well, how did it go again? As the Jews' way to bring people towards communism, which was the Jews' goal.
Yes.
That does
And
make
so,
sense.
so that means that straight away National Socialism is an opponent of capitalism by definition,
Yeah.
or at least their brand of it, because you do have this weird thing of the Czechs being governed by a National Socialist Party that didn't go around killing Jews.
No, I completely.
And actually sponsored
agree
them.
with you. No, I agree with you. No, it's I think
History's confusing.
that's the problem when like people go out in the street and say capitalism is fascism. It's like you clearly have no idea about how their ideals work. Like you don't have like the thing is like understanding what they're saying and believing what they're saying and being along with what they're saying are very different things. So it's very tricky because especially in this day and age where politics in general is so polarized, you can't simply, you can't simply like try and state what you think in the way of like, even if it's factually correct and everything, you can't simply because they will equate you with basically endorsing it. It's really freaking weird. It's so frustrating these kind of things.
Sorry,
absolutely exactly. And no, it's crazy. Like I do think the people who say to take like, just stick to tanks really should mind their own bloody business. Should really mind their own business.
The thing is, as well, is that if you just want someone who sticks to tanks, there's a million other channels that do that anyway.
Exactly.
I got told off for doing something similar.
Like, yeah. If you want someone to stick to tanks, piss off and watch The Chieftain. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
just going. I went live a couple of days ago. Thank you for not watching, Jake. And
did you? I never got. A
yeah, I went live.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway, basically, long story short is that it's not in any way the same thing. It's basically I kept getting people in the comments who were having a go at me for the content I make. Bear in mind, I make mainly archive video footage. People who that's what I try and do: find archive footage, put it in place, people can watch it, so it's easy there. It's there. It's
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, so we got onto discussion with someone who was quite knowledgeable about ships, and I had people in the comment section going, "Oh, you're a railway channel. You should be only talking about no, fuck off. It's mine. I can do what I want with it." So,
well, yeah, there is that. Well, technically, legally, it's not your YouTube channel because YouTube owns it.
TikTok,
because they can cut it down. But yeah, it's not theirs.
TikTok, but yeah.
Oh, TikTok, yeah. Well, mind you, it's not yours, then. It belongs to Xi Jinping.
Just quickly to answer Luke's question. No, absolutely, I completely agree with you. Like all ideologies, it's fucking bollocks.
Agreed.
Like,
I would say it depends what you mean by ideology, because I would say like believing in the free exchange of goods and services is a good idea.
But like in certain political systems, like communism, national socialism, fascism, whatever it be, it's all bollocks. Doesn't matter what it is, it's all bollocks at the end of the day. Because
I like anarchism. Just like do what the fuck you want.
All it leads to is a lot of people dying one way or another. In my view, anyway, no matter what it is. Like, yes, capitalism, for example, is not perfect.
Well, no, it's not meant to be. But at the same time, it's one of those things like Churchill said. It's a terrible system except for every other one that currently exists.
Yeah, it's just like... Personally, it should be just general, like everyone gets on with their own bloody business and leaves everyone the fuck alone.
Ow, hot, ow.
Exactly. Policy, yeah. You're right.
Levi, are you losing a fight with a stove?
I just put some more wood on it and I touched the metal handle with my skin. It hurt.
Bloody pillock. Yeah, like no, exactly right. Yeah, vote for policies, not ideology. Exactly. You should be voting for what they're proposing and look up what they're proposing. Don't just take it at face value. Look up what they actually mean. Don't just vote for someone's personality or whatever. You've got to understand what they're trying to put forward. And generally, as I've always said before anyway, people who want to be in politics generally shouldn't be trusted. People who get put into politics out of necessity or actually sort of who go into politics but they're not willingly in that sort of sense, generally people who are generally better at it. One of my
favorite quotes. One of my favorite quotes about politics comes from personally one of my more favorite guys to look at through history, but it's someone that usually people look down on. He said, "I hate politics because it's about making promises to people that you can't keep."
Exactly. That's basically politics.
Really quickly, LD, do it.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely, yeah, yeah.
Just do
absolutely. I think it'd be a good idea, dude. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And Zach, yeah, you're right, mate. Like nothing's perfect at all. Like every single thing, like every ism, if it be capitalism.
Oh,
whatever
Zachary
it is.
Berger's back. I remember your name from last one.
Everything's got a flawed thing to it, but some have more positives than others. But it's like history about trial and error. But the thing is, there's certain things which have been trial and errored so many times when you got to go like, it's time to call this an experiment to an end, where like too much shit has happened to say this is a failed fucking experiment. But,
oh yeah, I call it. At what point do you give up on classifying it as an anecdote and start calling it data?
Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah, exactly. Oh, it hasn't been tried properly yet. I'm sorry, but how big does the pit have to be that we keep filling the bodies, filling with like it's like, if it be from death, if it be from like starvation, if it be from homelessness, like what California is a prime example about how certain policies.
Oh, he mentioned the C word.
Oh, who's that cunt?
California.
Like, yeah, I think it's like how many times do people vote for policies they just take face value because they sound nice, lead to the largest homeless problem in the United States? Like, I'm sorry,
humans aren't perfect, so everything
like,
we make is imperfect. Yeah, brilliant. That's
But like, California has the largest, like, has more homeless people in its population than the entirety of the rest of the United States combined. That is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's a worrying thing, like, and that's not being dealt with because certain policies. Oh no, we need to do this. We need to do this. We need to do this. Yet you're not sorting out actually what you need to sort out. Your homeless problem is such an issue. Like with London, like what does London do? They invest taxpayers' money into building more stuff to make it more difficult. So for people who are homeless to sleep. It's really such
what's it called? That's got an actual name. When they make benches with armrests in it and they make floors deliberately bumpy and stuff so homeless people can't sleep.
Yeah, it's just.
It was all part of. I believe it comes under gentrification. The idea of trying to make somewhere really nice.
Yeah, what is it? In antisocial architecture or something along those lines. I forget.
Yeah, it's some weird, and then it goes into the whole weird modernist kind of crap, really.
Basically, London can go fuck itself.
I don't know. London used to be the greatest city on earth and the hub of the empire, and that's turned into the most. It's a cesspool, really. It really, really is, in my personal view.
Yeah, London's not what it used to be. No.
Well, most
amazing transport subsystem, but that's about it.
Most cities are in general because. And again, it goes into the whole thing of like these certain ideologies which push people to do things for the sake of goodness, but just end up hurting more people.
Ooh, Drake sent me a video.
Yeah, that's the one we were looking at the other day.
Oh, Longmore. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm actually doing at the minute. I'm editing a video together of the railway at Longmore. So
okay, yeah,
always good to have more footage.
That should be very helpful.
Thank you, very helpful.
My thumbs. Oh, okay, yeah, no worries, dude. I think I've got you on.
Really quickly, whilst I remember, Levi.
Yeah.
I have come to a decision. The best fighter plane of World War II was the Churchill tank.
I feel like there's a story behind this. Pray tell.
Name one that was ever shot down in air-to-air combat.
I don't remember the Churchill ever going far enough to actually be in the air for any length of time.
Exactly. Therefore, couldn't be shot down. Therefore, best fighter plane.
That's fake news.
Yeah, but by that standard, then are we saying that what's his face? That SS tanker was the best fighter pilot of World War II?
No, he was the best U-boat commander. He was never sunk.
All right, okay.
Yeah,
I'm a genius.
Michael Bittman was the best spaceman.
Bittman, that was him.
Exactly. See, I'm getting clever at this, aren't I?
I'll sort of put it in the.
You should work for NATO.
I know, right?
To be fair, you couldn't be much worse than the current lot of idiots.
That's one thing. That's one rabbit hole you will not see me going down, my friend.
Right, going down Stoltenberg's rabbit hole.
Yeah, not happening. No.
Emergency, guys. Stoltenberg has been enveloped from behind by Alice.
Wait, what?
Excuse me. I don't know. Oh god, this. It's been like no. I've actually watched some sort of like. I watched a couple of videos of guys talking about the whole tick stuff, and actually they were quite fair about it, really. So.
Well, the main ones I've seen.
What's up, Luke?
Right, Alice. I was LD chatting absolute shit in the comments.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, Jake. I proper spammed that chat, but it was quite.
That's all right.
I really wanted to speak to Mr. Moore. He's quite a cool guy.
Yeah, no. He's good. He's good. Hopefully he'll be able to jump on the next one as well. So that'll be. I'll let you know prior to that as well, because he messaged me about a day or so after after my last stream saying that he basically apologized. He missed the stream. I said no worries, mate. You're more than welcome to jump on the next. So yeah, no.
He is quite a cool dude, to be fair.
No, he's a lovely bloke. He really is. Yeah, no, he's good.
Little information I know about military history, most of it comes from him. So
well, the first 20 minutes, the live stream was about trains. So
railways, locomotives, don't call them trains. They're different.
He actually got me into Irish Army gear, believe it or not.
Yeah, and me. It's
do
he's
you
a
do
very clever
Irish
man.
stuff yourself, Alice?
Not to the same level as you, but presumably. But yeah, I've been looking online, trying to see what I can get. I'm trying to find some Irish DPM at the moment.
You mean Paddy Flage?
Yeah,
Paddy Flage, Irish DPM. They've all got various names.
Right, I can send Jake or Levi a message. I've got a friend in the north who's selling a lot, and it was for quite cheap.
Yes, please.
Bear with me.
Don't mind me. I'm still looking for my Swiss kit.
Let me write this down, and hopefully Jake or Levi can pass it on.
Really quickly, whilst Swiss M90 water bottle or canteen, whatever it's called, absolutely amazing.
Oh, the plastic one.
Yeah,
that was a 80 something that came out.
I brought one for when I do wildlife photography because I need to take one with me, obviously, and I generally really like it. It's, wow, it's better than. Basically, I don't know what it is about it, but I really like it.
It's my go-to water bottle for the Swiss kit. I've got the weird metal 1920s ones, but it's in my pocket. No one's going to tell the difference, and I'm going to use it to fill up water because hey, it's got more water in it.
Plus, it's half decent for making a cup of tea.
We just dropped from 4 viewers to 0. What the hell just happened?
Well, it wasn't me.
We went back to talking about Militaria.
After you joined, Luke. Were you opening like 4 different accounts and chatting?
Nah, mate. I was just chatting shit about fucking political theory. It's all bullshit.
Yeah, but what do you have you ever watched Tick stuff?
I have, yeah. I really like his Stalingrad series, to be honest.
Oh, it's freaking amazing. It's so good.
I won't use the phrase like he needs to stay out of politics. He's obviously entitled to his opinion.
Exactly.
I just disagree with him on quite a lot of things.
That's absolutely fine, and that's sort of what the main thing I'm getting. Like, I agree with quite a bit of it, but not all of it. Like I didn't really completely agree with his Churchill video, but then again, that's his own opinion. That's fine. But it's like his Battlestorm stuff is so good. I
do have to say on his Battlestorm stuff, when he announced that he was going to do Stalingrad, I did have a very sinking feeling that he's bitten off quite a lot.
Have you seen his Chetniks video? I hate to mention Yugoslavia, but he kind of long story short, he actually takes like a Serbian nationalist view of them. He thinks they're great and they're collaborators. I was so tempted to just start a channel and just reply to that, but he does get some weird. He does pull some weird opinions out, and I personally think he lets his politics affect his historical analysis as well.
What's good though, I think in some of his videos, especially his politics ones, he does say he does not hide the fact that his biases will affect what he says sometimes, which is what I appreciate actually. Like he openly says that. Unlike some other people who basically just try to hide the fact that they do have biases that affect what they say within historical context. So that's where I would say that yeah. But like with Iguazu's battle song, especially like his one Operation Compass was brilliant. And also the Market Garden one was fan-bloody-tastic.
So what was his conclusion from Market Garden that basically Gavin messed up?
Oh yeah, and from what I've seen and the evidence I've seen, yeah, absolutely. Like the fact of like Gavin did not.
But I like how he goes through the entire thing, makes like an hour-long promo about it. He just sums up with basically Gavin messed up.
Yeah, and it's the same thing because like Gavin did not capture the bridge on the first day. He didn't capture the bridge until after 30 Corps arrived, which like. And that wasn't until after a river crossing with fairly heavy casualties. Like the fact of like Gavin was informed by some members of the local Dutch resistance that there were a lot of tanks in the Rijksvold, or there were some tanks in the Rijksvold. Like Gavin then took this as there were 1,000 tanks in the Rijksvold. Where? Most of the Dutch resistance within the area basically said that wasn't true, and then diverted basically almost the entirety of the division to the Groesbeck Heights, overlooking Nijmegen.
My apologies.
That's right, and then not capturing the bridge on the first day, which was like he sent one battalion to capture the bridge, and then told them to pull back before they arrived there, and then the Germans started pouring into Nijmegen.
So it was like a useless maneuver. Why did he pull back?
I saw about to go for a second. What's
Speaking
the
of Serbs, I found the Serbian kit. Still haven't found the Swiss kit.
He basically, I can't exactly remember exactly why, but it's more in the video and all some other things. But I can't exactly remember. But it was basically to do with supporting the rest of the division on the Groesbeck Heights, really, along with some other things as well to secure the landing zones, etc. Because it
sounds like he had a lot on his shoulders. If you think about it,
it's bizarre. Like the thing is, Gavin's orders were to capture the bridge. That was the whole reason for the operation. But he didn't do the one thing he was told to do. And he put an entire paratroop division in contest to something which weren't there, even though a lot of the locals told him they're not there. It just seemed really bizarre. And the fact like this battalion that was sent into Nijmegen itself were literally half an hour from capturing the bridge when they were told to withdraw. And it's just utterly ridiculous. And then that led to the operation in total failing, because when the British eventually arrived in Nijmegen on time, because they managed to make up the time, because I really do... You're right there. Levi?
Yeah.
You're right there.
Yeah, I'm using the phone torch, so apologies.
Okay, you can mute yourself for a minute.
There's the Soviet stuff. Fucking hell.
Yeah,
don't tell my dad that he was right. I probably should have written on the boxes what I put in them.
You muppet. But
there's my M55 stuff. The Yugo.
I think the film British Fire is brilliant, but I do think that
it's a great film masterpiece. Yeah,
but I do think it perpetuates some myths about 30 Corps. 30 Corps managed to get to Nijmegen literally basically only a few hours behind schedule. Because they managed to make up the time after the Son Bridge was fixed. After they put the New Bailey Bridge across, they managed to make up the time. So when they arrived at Nijmegen and found that the town had barely been sorted out, and then the bridge hadn't even been captured yet, then you have the major delays, which then caused, like, 30 Corps, when they would have, if Nijmegen had been captured on time, would have arrived in Arnhem after 2nd Battalion had fallen. Don't get me wrong, but they would have been able to fight their way across into the town itself, and then possibly link up with the rest of 1st Division. But that's that key thing. Nijmegen Bridge wasn't captured on the first day, which it could have even been captured on the evening of the 1st into the morning of the 2nd.
I mean, there's even things like the Germans might have reacted to armor like that.
Yeah,
you know, in a way we might never know they would. We're getting kind of into hypotheticals, but
if
it could definitely have changed the battle, I suppose.
Bear in mind, considering like how close of a distance Nijmegen is to Arnhem, like it's only a few miles. It's not that much. And if you have an entire armored corps crossing over the Nijmegen Bridge into there, like the Germans would have to divert so much armored force from around the Oosterbeek perimeter, for example, which they were piling in a lot of armor, mainly assault guns, but still, and a lot of artillery and a lot of infantry. And I will give it to the Germans, like they performed very well during the entirety of the battle. But they managed to cut off the corridor several times before it was reopened again during the whole of the battle. So there was those things as well. But I think there's especially again from again things like A Bridge Too Far. It's perpetuated things, for example, like they were going to cross the Rhine. No, they weren't. Like the whole idea, even Eisenhower lays out prior to Market Garden and just after as well. That they were
I think Market Garden wasn't. Well, Market Garden, if it had worked, would have given them a bridge board to cross the Rhine, but Market Garden wasn't to cross the Rhine.
Yeah, it was to penetrate all the way towards the Zonde Zee, which is the main sort of like steep up, sea estuary in the north of the Netherlands, to then cut off Antwerp. Like Antwerp itself, cut off the Scheldt, I should say. Antwerp had already been captured, but the Scheldt wasn't open.
Yeah. Antwerp, the actual port was in our hands, but the other side of the coast was held by the Germans.
Yeah, so the whole of the Scheldt, like Walcheren, etc., was still in German hands. That's why you have the massive Battle of the Scheldt, etc., late in 1944.
Yep, good old Canadians fighting that one.
And personally, I think the Scheldt probably would have been captured or had fallen probably in September, mid to late September 1944, rather than late October, early November. And bear in mind, it really, I think actually, going back to Tick again, actually, he did quite a good video on Montgomery and Ike, and that was quite good actually. And the whole broad versus narrow front thing, I think it was actually quite good. How we covered that. It's a tricky one. It's obviously all what if kind of stuff, but I think it's very much the fact of 30 Corps had made up the time when they got to Nijmegen to then find nothing in the plan had been done.
Do you think they should have had a scene for that then in the film?
I really think so, but again, it's going off Cornelius Ryan's works, who was perpetuating some of the myths out from the end of the war, fed from especially the American side of things, i.e., it was all Monty's fault kind of thing. Which, Monty was not an angel at all. He had a lot of faults, and especially in some things, he was very difficult to get on with. But at the same time, you cannot say he wasn't a competent commander when it came to things like this. And he gets a lot of rap. Oh, he was too cautious. He was too slow. But Market Garden was one of those things. He was breaking the mold. He was showing that he wasn't this cautious commander. He was just he was a commander that was very. He prepared things. All Market Garden was rushed. But thing is, like, most of the things were in place to do Market Garden at that point.
There was also the fact that with Market Garden, the Allies had just spent God knows how much money and time making a purpose-built airborne army, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And there were people saying, "Well, let's at least use it." So
exactly, I think it was about 15 or 16 operations and previous drops had been cancelled up into that point between the landings in Normandy and then obviously Market Garden. That multiple drops had been cancelled. So everyone was getting very irritated and very anxious that we must use this thing. Otherwise, it's sitting in England and it's a very bad PR thing if we don't use these guys. And we spent a lot of money and a lot of time training these guys, and they're good to go.
Do you think there was political pressure?
Oh, absolutely.
There was a bit of that, yeah. I mean, I can't remember who said it, but basically, in the American army, once you get above an eagle on your shoulder, you're into the politics.
No, but I mean, do you think
that was Ike's? I'm sorry, carry on. Sorry.
Do you think, say, Churchill would have got involved? Would it have got that high? 44 is a weird year, isn't it? Because we're nearly there. We're not quite there, but we're nearly there.
It's very strange because, like, if you look at like Ike's memoir, like Eisenhower's memoir, there's a lot of he was very prevalent in trying to sort of satisfy what is happening at home in the States, because it was 44 was an election year. He's very much political minded. That's why obviously he goes for president after during the 50s and in the 60s.
Oh yeah, Ike's presidency is, I think, underrated.
Yeah, I honestly think so as well. But like, again, there's a lot of politics there, and Ike is really sort of fairly broad-minded with that sort of thing. That's why they had to go for like the whole broad front strategy, because if he favors one or the other, it's going to look bad either way he goes.
Yeah.
The broad strategy was the best. The
broad strategy it satisfied the greatest number of things with the minimal amount of things.
Mm-hmm. But I will, absolutely. But because he couldn't say focus like Montgomery's single thrusting into the north, really, like breaking out of Normandy, that is, going across France.
Plus, by that time, you're no longer really dealing with the Wehrmacht as it was in the past, so you can sort of afford to go on a broad front strategy because you're not expecting them to do any massive thrusts, except the Battle of the Bulge, of course.
But the main problem with the broad front strategy is when they started to properly enact it, the German army was already in retreat and basically was non-existent in France at this point. So, and the fact of like the broad front, like it was so slow, like ridiculous. Yeah,
it's ridiculous to supply operations along the front like that.
Like it was so appalling. Like most forces are advancing only like 15 to 20 miles a day, even if that, because they don't have the fuel. The amount of like black market racketeering during the entirety of like
15 to 20 miles a day.
Like 15 to like it's not that much at all. It's really not that much.
With the American army being basically the most motorized, it is not a lot.
Like the amount of breakdowns, the fuel shortages were so bad, which is why you have things like the push through the Ardennes in late 44, because the Germans have been able to regroup so quickly, because they've been able to pull their troops up, because the Allied army cannot keep up with the retreat of the Germans. And things like as I said, like you had a lot of black market racketeering, like a lot of fuel being sold on the black market, like units specifically, like certain battalions or whatever it be, regiments, the American and British army, especially the American army, basically stealing or going through the black market to like buy fuel for themselves, or again stealing from other units, fuel, ammunition, etc. Mainly fuel, obviously, for their own use, so they can go do whatever they want. And the actual system of supply set up for the Americans was very bad. The guy in charge of it was definitely not the best man for the job. The British and Commonwealth system was a lot better. Like, it wasn't perfect, but it was far superior to what the Americans were using. In that sort of sense, they were trying to sort of utilize much more sort of functional systems and how they were by the units. Again, it still wasn't perfect, but it was better than in the sort of what they had, really. Yeah, it was.
Ignore me, I'm refilling the wood.
That's right. It's crazy. Like,
yeah, for the record, guys, I do live in London, not in the bloody woods.
Yeah. Hi, Stop Motion. Hope you're doing well, mate. I say give Tick's video on Icon and Icon Monty a watch. Actually, it was really, because it goes into the whole logistics kind of stuff about it. It's really, really good.
I will, as I say, he's not a bad historian at all. It's you know, it's one of them. I'm sure I've said enough.
No, that's absolutely fine.
One of the things I will say about Dwight Eisenhower is that for a general, he was extremely good at knowing which fights to pick and which not to. And you sort of see this post-war as well, because one of the things that a lot of people tend to gloss over is that he and Zhukov were very good friends. And to the point, I think Zhukov was invited over to the US, and indeed he toured around area. And Zhukov, as then defense minister, tried to get Dwight Eisenhower to do a state visit to the USSR. But then you ended up with the one of the Berlin crises getting in the way, which scuppered it. But Dwight Eisenhower and Zhukov working together were trying to do some sort of détente before détente was a thing.
Yeah, and I will say, in regards to that sort of whole sort of thing with between the US and the Russians and that as well, especially, like, I think it was if Truman had probably become president slightly earlier, I do think the war would have ended very, very differently. I honestly do think so. I think if, say, Truman had become president in 1943, I do think the Soviets probably wouldn't have pushed so far into Germany as they. I think they probably wouldn't have been given a free roam to Berlin, I would say. That's just speculation, but I think generally because Truman, as you see in the very early post-war years, was very distrustful of the Soviets, as was Churchill, and right-minded, really, considering what happened to.
Was Truman Germany first, though? I've not read much.
I think he wanted to get Germany done. Well, I think he wanted to get Germany done out the way, so then he could focus on the Far East. But he wanted to get Germany done out the way, whilst also making sure the Soviets did not get everything their way. Unlike FDR, who just wanted constantly to appease the Soviets and allow them to do what they wanted, just so he didn't stir up any trouble, really. Unlike Churchill, who was like, no, we need to, yes, these are our allies, but at the same time, we cannot let them just do what they want, like the thing we've been fighting against for the past 6 years.
Hang on, I've got a couple anecdotes. I'll be with you in a minute.
Because yes, again, like, Churchill was not perfect, and there's a lot of things I don't agree with him on, but at the same time, he did see what the Soviet threat was for what it was. It was going to do whatever it wanted to Eastern Europe and not help them in any way whatsoever.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, that's a big bag of wood brought in. Right, yeah, I've got a couple of anecdotes. One was, do you know about the percentages deal?
Yeah, with Greece and Yugoslavia and all.
Yeah, but basically you end up with this sort of Churchill and Stalin are sort of gritty realists. So he's perfect. So Churchill's perfectly willing to go, yeah, I'll give you that as long as you give me this, which is not. On the one hand, it's not what Roosevelt thought was the best solution. And then the same, I think it was it at Yalta? Stalin suggested that basically when it all came over, something like 20,000 German officers should be just rounded up and executed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they did go back on quite a lot of that.
And Roosevelt said, oh, well, perhaps 19,000. And then Churchill got up and basically said, I'd rather be shot behind the shed right now than be party to such slaughter. So you have this sort of weird balancing act between all three of them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so frustrating and confusing with the whole of the situation really in the time, like, and yeah, it's especially, and bear in mind considering that FDR had served for so much time as well. Like, he had served for multiple terms at this point. I think he served 3 consecutive terms, basically, which is the most anyone's done in one slot. Sometimes if they've served 3 terms, it's been broken up by they were out of office and back in office. But he was 3 consecutive terms.
Oh yeah, they call him the American monarch.
Yeah, and then funny enough, after that, then they stopped doing the whole. They
passed an amendment afterwards.
Yeah, quite convenient, really. Like, I really do not like FDR. I think he was. There was a lot of flaws to him. Not as much as I hate Woodrow Wilson, but still.
Woodrow Wilson.
Woodrow Wilson was a piece of work.
Yeah. Probably one of the worst presidents the United States has had, and that's even when some presidents have lasted a few days before dying of illness or being shot.
Did those US presidents outlast the lettuce?
Some of them didn't. One of them died literally a few days after his inauguration because he possibly caught something. But you know.
He couldn't stand the excitement.
You've
won, sir.
No, Wilson is such a different kettle of fish. Like, if it's all about, like, if Teddy Roosevelt had not split the Republican vote, Teddy probably would have won the Republican nomination in 1912.
Teddy Roosevelt, there's a president for you.
Like, he has his flaws, but he's hell of a personality, and he was like the old school. He was one of the old school progressives, like the early of what it actually properly was at the time, which was more of just a general liberalism. And then
the guy got shot giving a speech, and then insisted that he finished the speech before getting a doctor.
Basically, he got shot on the way to give a speech. He then went and spoke for over an hour, whilst with a bullet in him before he sought medical attention.
Where did they get shot?
So someone I can't remember. He got shot in the chest.
Oh.
He got shot in the chest, and then said, "No, I'm going on with this." He spoke for over an hour. Then he went to the hospital. That's a president. That's a president.
Yeah. That's a guy and a half. Yeah.
I really do quite like Teddy Roosevelt. He was a hell of a personality, and I honestly think the Americans probably would have entered the Great War a lot sooner. And I think it probably would have meant the war ends quicker.
I'm not entirely sure if we're going on World War One because
I would say, like, Teddy. It's all speculation, but in general, I think Teddy's view on supporting the Entente, especially because what he said during the war, and he was very irritated with Wilson's, like, pandering and saying, "Oh, we're not getting involved, but then just getting involved anyway." Teddy was like, "No, we can't just keep saying we're neutral and then doing all this.
Pick a side."
Yeah, exactly. And I think if Teddy was president, they probably would have joined the war sooner, which means Russia wouldn't have fallen as it did. I think they would have still had the revolution in February, but I don't think the October Revolution would have gone on.
I'm not entirely sure that the October one is contingent on the Americans. I think that might be stretching the what if a bit much.
I think maybe, but it's a case of, like, because if America gets involved earlier, which means then by the time of, say, the Russian Revolution happens anyway, you've got a lot more American troops on the Western Front anyway at that point. So again, it's speculation, but it's a possibility that maybe the Russian Revolution doesn't happen at all. But because it might embolden. What the fuck was that?
Someone's either playing with a condom or a balloon.
It sounds like you're getting into rubber gear. Like, what's going on?
Is it me?
I don't know what it was. That was really weird.
It wasn't me.
I've no idea what's going on.
Someone's getting in the gimp suit again.
It's the gimp suit, or someone's let rip a smelly one.
That was very loud. Jesus.
I've literally said nothing. I don't even know what the hell was going on.
It sounded like someone like in a bare ass was like rubbing themselves along like a
squeaky bum tan.
Yeah. I just heard it again. What the fuck? Oh well, whatever.
I'm keeping very still now.
It might be my microphone. I'm going to. I'll
Your microphone's inside a gimp suit?
But yeah, no, I don't know. Maybe the Russian Revolution doesn't happen. Maybe the Second Revolution doesn't. I don't know. It's speculatory, but this I generally think the Russians wouldn't have pulled out the war if the Americans had joined earlier. I generally think so, because the Germans would have had to diverted much more attention to the Western Front if the Americans were there in great force. And I think Teddy probably would have entered the war sooner. Yeah.
The thing is, if we're starting to mention the Russian side, the Imperial Russians, it's like they didn't pull out of the war. What happened was that they had the October Revolution, and then the commies pulled them out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, the first revolution, they don't leave the war. That's the thing, and that's one of the main attributes of why the second revolution happened, is because they take over ownership and still fighting the war and are still losing badly. And
yeah, they tried a series of offensives in I think it was July or August, and basically they didn't work out well.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if the Americans had been sooner, it might have worked out. That's what I mean.
Well, for me, it depends how much sooner, because when did the Americans declare war again? Was it the later part of 17?
They declared 17. War, mid to late 17. They didn't really arrive in Europe until early 18.
No, because that's the point I'm going at. It's like the actual amount of time that the US troops were actually on the front lines doing the fighting was just over 100 days.
Yeah,
which works out to like maybe 3-4 months, depending which months exactly, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And in that time frame of that 100 days, they suffered over 110,000 casualties, which works out to more than 1,000 men a day.
I can hear it now.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's really, really weird. But yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, I think if the Americans had probably entered the scene, say like if they probably declared war in late 16, they would have been there in great numbers by the end.
They would have theoretically been there to help when Ludendorff launched his offensive,
exactly,
which would have made a difference.
It would have been amazing difference. Like the Americans would have been there in great numbers. Yes, again, just like in a real timeline, they would have been heavily equipped by the Entente, like Britain and France and that. But again, you would be talking like several 100,000 men at this point, like several hundred, like huge numbers of American troops. Flooding.
But that also depends as well, because the US standing army was quite small, so you wouldn't get that many actually trained troops.
At first, but say by mid 17 or late 17, you would have then troops that have been in training from the start of when they entered the war, coming into the Western Front, just as in the timeline with the British, you had the early volunteers entering into the Western Front in 1915. So
we are talking about World War One as well.
Yeah.
Like we are talking about trench warfare, and they probably would have gone on the defensive, and Ludendorff would have conducted offensive operations. Again, that comes into question, but if they did, it's more meat for the grinder.
Here's a view. The Western Front, as we know, was very trench-based. The Eastern Front wasn't. Well, it did have trenches, but it was more sort of open maneuvers. You break through, you get to have the big sweeping arrows.
It's because the land mass itself was much greater.
Yeah, but the American army was small and used to a very large land mass. So in many ways, would the Americans have been better deploying on the Russian front, where you had wide open steppes where their cavalry would be more useful than going on the Western front?
Maybe. But then again, the Western armies were basically that pre-war. So the Americans would probably run into the same. But basically, exactly what happened during the Great War with the Americans anyway. They had to learn a lot of the lessons weird, like us and the French had learned back in 1914.
Oh yeah, Officer Hubris.
Hello,
Like,
I'm back. My
Hi.
internet
Hello,
is falling today.
No, it's fine. No.
Hello. Oh, sorry.
But no,
yeah,
it's
hello.
I think the Americans, the Americans in general would learn exactly what we had learned, i.e., wait until you basically have to learn lessons like until the 100 Days Offensive. You in the West Front anyway, you don't get those massive maneuvers until then. Eastern Front, as you were saying, Levi, like if they'd have been deployed there, maybe. If they then could say, if they had declared war, maybe, I don't know, early 1916, and they started entering into the Western Front, and that maybe in late 16, maybe they've been able to send forces to fight against Turkey. Maybe.
Oh yeah, the Americans over in the Middle East, Egypt and Palestine.
I'm just a bit lost. What have I missed out on?
We're basically talking about the First World War.
The what? Sorry. The First World War.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. All right, yeah, all right, fair enough.
And
I see now.
If, for example, as a bit of alternate history, really, if Teddy Roosevelt had won the pre-war election rather than Woodrow Wilson, kind of thing, for the United States.
Ooh, interesting.
Because Woodrow Wilson is a piece of shit, but that's beside the point.
Yes, he was. He was.
I think we can all agree Woodrow Wilson is not a satisfactory.
Yes, I don't support the KKK. Really, Woody, you do? You don't? What's really happening?
There's actually a survey dedicated to how much people hate him. I'll see if I can find it.
Wilson or Roosevelt? Sorry.
Wilson.
Who what?
Oh, okay, right. I was going to say people hated Teddy Roosevelt. I was like, what?
He was
I know some people did, but
he's like a legend.
But I did not like people trying to claim, we didn't support the KKK and also. Well, I'm sorry, he showed Birth of a Nation in the White House, and he's quoted at the start of it.
I think what's fucking mad, like a lot of Americans don't realize that, like, I can't remember what it was called, but didn't he set up like this? Didn't he like encourage like this Southern movement for like the Confederacy, and they like built a load of statues after the war?
He's basically a major lost causer,
and it's just like a complete logical fallacy. The whole movement.
He's a massive lost causer. He's a lost causer. And sort of was pushing the whole thing of like, it wasn't, but the Civil War wasn't about slavery; it was about states' rights. Yeah, states' rights on the keeping of the institution of slavery. That was what it was about.
There was this live stream I watched. It was on Twitch, and it was basically someone supporting someone from the Deep South. And honestly, to beat his argument of the South was fighting for states' rights, the person who says it literally said, "What were they fighting about?" Well, states' rights. What were the rights to keep? Oh, because tax and tariffs. Why were
the South talking about states' rights needs to look at Mexico and give half of it back, the stupid bastards.
Agreed. Yep, no, I agree.
Completely violated that country.
I mean, there's a very awkward thing, because the Civil War's definitely started not over the slavery issue. The Civil War ended with the slavery issue. If that makes sense.
In regards to the North, so what Lincoln basically thought the war was about for the Union anyway was preserving the Union. It was never about slavery for the Union at the start of the war.
Yeah.
Although wasn't slavery still a massive issue even before the war? When California agreed it was a free state, didn't someone get shot in? Didn't someone get the crap beaten out of them in Congress or something like that?
So it's the problem is there's so many times prior to the Civil War that things could have been prevented, but it sort of just made things worse. Certain states, when they were being formed, etc., there's a whole complicated whole thing over it. There's a lot to it. I will say,
Interesting though.
If you want a really good insight into the Civil War, check out a it used to be called The History Guy Gaming. He's got several channels now. It's called Vlogging Through History.
I am aware of him. Yes.
He's basically, the Civil War is his main thing, which he's been studying on for years, years and years, and literally he's bloody brilliant on it. And I really, really do say, and I completely agree with him. Anyone who claims that from the South's point of view, the Civil War wasn't over. Well, one of the points was not slavery. Is stupid. Is ridiculous.
Yes, I agree.
It absolutely was. It was the main. It was the main function. It was one of the main reasons the European powers didn't get involved was because of slavery. If slavery was not on the table, then probably Britain would have entered the war on the side of the Confederacy.
Oh, agreed.
We did also do a little bit of.
We did accidentally build them a warship.
But by that time, we were completely
Confederacy a warship, but we couldn't sell it as a warship. So we did a weird trade at sea where we sold them a cargo ship next to a ship that had guns on it.
Absolutely, but it was all soft power politics and that sort of way of trying to. And at
no
the same time,
British troops fought in the American Civil War. That's the important thing.
Yeah, and
that we know of.
Wasn't there a fuck ton of British observers though?
Oh, probably. I mean, there were observers from all over the place. I mean, the Germans sent a whole bunch of observers there as well.
A shitload of Irish ones.
Although, mind you, 1864, in addition to being the American Civil War, was also the Second Schleswig-Holstein War. So you end up with Prussia and Denmark basically going to war with each other as well, which was a bit more of an immediate issue for Britain because Denmark was our ally.
Yeah. And
wait, what? Didn't Queen Victoria agree with the Prussians though? Because basically, there's
a good scene from the TV series 1864, which I need to get around to watching. And it's Palmerston and Victoria talking to each other. And Palmerston says there's only 3 people who actually understand the Schleswig-Holstein issue. One is a duke, he's now dead. One is a professor, he's gone insane. And the other is me, and I've forgotten what it's about.
Yeah. But going back, although one thing I do find interesting, and one thing I would have liked to see play out, not the Confederacy succeeding, obviously, but seeing whether or not they would have actually proceeded with their invading southwards. Because a lot of people do say, to Mexico, the Caribbean islands, and build themselves a bit of an empire.
Which Mexico, baby.
I'm assuming that they've won. Well, assuming that the CSA have managed to win and secede, it's like
it's not really winning; it's just not being obliterated.
Yeah,
you reckon they would have had a go at Cuba?
I don't think the CSA would have been anywhere near capable of doing that at that point. No, I mean part of the thing about the Civil War strategy is that the North, they seem to do some sort of bold actions in the beginning, and basically got outmaneuvered through sort of maneuver warfare by the South. And then the North basically go, right, let's turn on the attrition. And basically it came down to the North having more men, more firepower, more material, more supplies, more logistics. And they just wore down the South and then just moved in.
The thing is as well is with the American Civil War, politics was so entwined. If you look at I'm trying to remember the president prior to Lincoln, prior to the Civil War, I can't remember who it was, but he was a major member of the cabinet within the United States. And
Ulysses Grant, was it?
No. He was basically, in preempting the Civil War starting, he was removing weapons, ammunition, etc., and supplies from Union armories to Southern ones in preparation for the start of the Civil War. I'm trying to remember.
To be fair, a lot of people did see it coming up. It's not exactly a surprise.
But the fact.
So someone needs to warn Nicola Sturgeon. Yeah. Let's get as many British troops into Scotland as possible so we can nick their stuff.
There are quite a lot of British troops already.
Have you guys heard of the Welsh independence movement?
Oh yeah.
The Welsh independence movement will be, instead of a dragon on their flag, it'll be a sheep.
Have you guys heard of the slag?
Levi, fight me.
I will. I can come to the butcher's shop tomorrow at dawn.
Bring your flintlock pistol and your gloves, dear sir. We shall duel in the morn.
You were saying, Luke?
I was saying, have you heard of the slag?
Oh god.
What?
The Scouse Liberation Army Group.
Oh yeah, I have.
This is an in-joke within London Living History Group that we've got the sort of we're giving various counties their independence.
Well,
I don't know.
say,
Jake says I'm not allowed to do it because I keep trying to steal all your guys' kit.
Well, I would say that's probably more of a case and a worry with Cornwall, because if they separate, they're going to create their own army called the URA.
Although, actually, like realistically, that's actually a really good point when people talk about the Cornish independence movement, because as far as I can see, a lot of it is whether or not they should be recognised as a Celtic nation. And as far as I can see,
I would call them Neo-Welsh.
They are a Celtic nation, but
yeah. So why can't they be recognised as one the same way as Scotland and Wales?
Because
they're part of England.
Because they're not a country. That's the thing.
Because they
were until
industry to the British economy.
Well, if that's the case, Alice, then why don't we give Wessex the same recognition and Mercia?
It's a shithole.
Because neither of those places have a native language.
Mercia is basically Wales, mate.
How is it?
Not quite, because the Earl of Mercia pub is in Coventry. It's the Midlands. But no, you had the Kingdom of Wessex, the Kingdom of Mercia, and all these other various Anglo-Saxon Viking kingdoms.
True, very true.
Northumbria, Mercia, Wessex, Essex was its own kingdom at one point. So was Sussex. You had Kent or Sient, which was the main thing, and then you had what's it bloody called?
A fuck ton in Wales. I can't remember what they were called.
Yeah, Wales was its own kingdom as well, and so was there was separate kingdom in Scotland.
Kingdoms. It was only actually united once by Owen Gwyndorth.
You had Conwillan as well, which was obviously Cornwall. Wessex then obviously encompassed then Essex and Sussex into its main body. Mercia at one point was probably one of the largest and most powerful at one time, and then obviously Wessex took over from Mercia. But Mercia's main border was that of Wales, and it had its own patrol that went up and down the border of Wales. There's from there's a channel called Useful Charts, and they do a breakdown of like the Saxon kings. It's actually really well done actually.
My point being that if we're going to go down the road of saying the Cornish are a Celtic nation to be recognised on the same level as Wales, it's like, well, why stop at Cornwall? Why not give the same thing to Kent and Mercia and all the rest of it?
How much of the traditional Celtic traditions are left in Mercia and Wessex? None. Whereas if you look at Cornwall, Wales, Scotland, you still do find some ancient culture still left there.
But then again, at the same time, you could say the same of like Northumbria or like the northern parts of England. Like
I do agree what you're saying.
You just have to look at the town names to know where the regions are, and general old traditions still apply in those certain areas. Like how many things like in this sort of area or like down south are still like after stuff from the time of the Kingdom of Wessex, for example. Like,
I agree. I think we're ignoring like a big point, and it's probably one that's overlooked. But people will say down there that they're Cornish, but they're probably not against being called English. That's the difference.
Again,
the big difference.
Again,
I would say I'm a Londoner, I'm an Englishman, and I'm a Brit. So what's wrong with them going, I'm a whatever it is, I'm a Cornishman, I'm an Englishman?
I'm a man of the world.
Thing is,
there's nothing wrong with it. It's just like
a lot of people assume that they're trying to deny being English. It's not the case at all. Because
but the Welsh do, the Scots do. That's the difference. That's why.
I know.
And that's why they must be our subjects.
If I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not if I'll be honest with you, I'd recommend doing your own research on it, because I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of information I don't know. However, it is a very interesting thing to research, because
Well, if literally all the Cornish want is someone just to simply say, yeah, we recognise that X thousand years ago you were a Celtic people separate to the Anglo-Saxons, then I'll happily say yeah, but otherwise I'm not really sure what the issue is about.
Wow, again, it's really complicated. For England being England, a lot of it is about the oppression of the local tradition, and the fact that Cornwall still managed to hold some in comparison a lot more than can say. Again, majority of the parts of England is a big part to play in it.
Well, the thing is, it wasn't until after like the sort of like the last great heathen army was really defeated that Wessex's influence decided to take over sort of Cornwall and quite majorly, really. Which
I think
they didn't really oppose against really that much. They saw it as a safety thing. Obviously, there were actions against it, but in general terms, it wasn't really a conquest kind of thing, unlike that of Wales within the later medieval period.
I think even if Cornwall was an island separate from England, it would still only hold similar status to the Isle of Man, who are again like somehow a Celtic nation.
Again, they are a Celtic nation. But again, it's not them asking full independence. It's them literally asking to be recognised, because they have tried literally just to be recognised as being one of the Celtic nations, and the majority of other Celtic nations are also pushing it. I believe it's been up in the Welsh Assembly.
I think it's because
Westminster.
I think it's because Cornwall basically was integrated within the original Kingdom of England in the first place, unlike say Wales and Scotland. Because unlike Wales and Scotland had defined borders, unlike that of say
Dorset.
Unlike say the kingdoms of the Anglo-Saxons and the Celtic peoples within England itself. Like, because the borders changed so much, like Cornwall's border with Wessex changed about 4 or 5 times before eventually it was incorporated within Wessex. Wales changed very little, and Scotland changed very little, or Alba, etc., up there in the north. Because obviously, like, yes, Mercia would fight against the Welsh sometimes, but in general, they had bigger issues of, like, battling with Northumbria and then obviously the Danelaw. They had bigger things on their plate than fighting with the Celts. They were fighting with a bigger threat, that of the Danes. And then obviously other Anglo-Saxon kingdoms who were far more powerful than anything over in Wales. So I think that's kind of thing. Yes, it is old Celtic nation, but the problem is as well is what people in Cornwall don't realise is there's Anglo-Saxons and those in Cornwall integrated so much that there's very little of that left. And that was at that period. This wasn't like several hundred years of integration. This was like integration over like a few decades.
I mean, not massively. I mean, the Cornish language was still very prominent until
absolutely right.
The 1960s.
It stayed within its own thing, and the Kingdom of Wessex allowed that to continue. But in the same sense, like a lot more things were integrated a lot sooner in
I agree.
Than say in Wales or Scotland or whatever. Yeah,
no, I do agree. But it's just one of those things where I do think about. And to be fair, a lot of people think it'll change massively. I really don't think it will. So my exact opinion on it is for people who are on the fence. Is that the question I ask is, what difference will it make for it to be recognised as a Celtic nation?
I think it would do. It would be more of a.
I think if anything, if we recognise it as a Celtic nation, it'd just be a box ticking thing.
Yeah, it'd be more of a ceremonial thing.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I agree.
Because at the end of the day, the local councils they use and everything they use, the road signs are in Cornish and English, so it's like it's basically already been recognised anyway. It would just be seem just like pointless than going any further. I think
that's all it will. That to be fair, it's just purely because Westminster are being twats, dragging their feet about it and not actually allowing it, and it's just pissing the people of Cornwall off, and I don't blame them, quite frankly. And the fact is that
to be fair though, if it takes the MOD at least 6 months to answer an urgent operational requirement, how long did you think it was going to take Westminster to deal with it?
yeah, I know, but point is, I understand why people are being angry, and again, if they want to be recognised, I don't see why we should stop them.
Well, the only thing we've got to be worried about is the Great Cornwall, the Great Pasty Uprising, and when that comes, then the day will be very bad. But
what we do if Cornwall goes independent, we give Dorset its independence, and we just let the two of them fight it out.
Well, it depends.
You've got to admit, Cornwall will have an amazing national anthem. I reckon it's going to beat. I reckon it's better than the Welsh one.
The fact
is, Chief Pasty on high.
If we
you've not heard it.
All we've got to watch out for if the Cornwall Pastry Company decides to go on the full armaments drive, we must put Greggs into full production.
Sorry, I'm just picturing the Cornwall Pastry Company becoming the new East India Company.
No, it basically turns into BSA.
Yeah.
And Greggs is the Royal Factory at Enfield.
I do like the Cornish flag. It's a fucking cool flag.
Isn't it just a white cross on a black background?
Yeah, that's why
exactly.
It's cool.
It's emo England.
No, it's Goth Denmark. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's Gothic Denmark.
Yeah.
Big titty.
Oh yeah, this really bugs me. Do you know? This really bugs me. Do you know the White Dragon? Right. The White Dragon flag. Yeah, the White Dragon flag.
Well surrendered.
No,
fuck off. No. Basically, the red dragon is for the Celtic people. The white dragon is for the Anglo-Saxons. Anyway, the amount of people who don't actually know that is really bugging me because it comes up quite a lot of people going, "Oh, this is an alternate Welsh flag." No, it's not. Yeah, I know, and I hate you for it. Call yourself a historian.
I've never heard of this white dragon nonsense. Anyway,
but then
you never heard of it.
No, all throughout England, all throughout school, Wales was the only, but Wales and Bhutan were the only countries that had dragons on them.
Basically, it's
sometimes people get wrong though. Is they go, Wessex had a dragon. No, that's a wyvern. That's different.
No, it's not. No, this is it's meant to go back. It's not actually that old of a flag, but basically, one represents the Anglo-Saxons, one represents the Welsh. It's basically, yeah. There's a whole story that Welsh kids used to be told about two dragons fighting. It was actually about the Anglo-Saxons and the Celts fighting, wars. But yeah, a lot of people.
Welsh propaganda.
Yeah. English, you English imperial scum.
It's fucking weird hearing about this, and I'm like, hang on a minute, where would my ancestors?
Hang on. When was Wales incorporated? Because wouldn't it be at a certain time you French imperial scum because of William the Conqueror?
No.
Oh no, I have seen that flag before.
Let's see it. Make sure you got the right one.
Because there's sort of like Is it sort of like rampant? Like up kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like that. Or perhaps if I
don't know, I can't see. That's way too bright.
Yeah. Turn the brightness down, please.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it.
I've never seen that.
Not gonna lie, at the resolution it's on my screen, it looks a bit like a kitty cat.
Fun fact, it's currently being hijacked by the far right movement.
I think it's sort of the dragon representation of the wyvern of Wessex, basically, almost kind of thing.
Has anyone seen like the horror that are county flags? The awful.
Yes, they are.
Some are good, some are bad, some are very, very strange.
My favorite, the only good one is Warwickshire. That's it.
Now Yorkshire and Lancashire are good.
Oh yeah.
Roses.
They are actually quite good.
Man. You want to Google Merseyside? It's
basically you're saying Yorkshire and Lancashire are House Tyrell from the Game of Thrones.
Yeah. About to say, to be fair, do you know what I always find funny? Just like when you're in either Yorkshire or Lancashire, and just the amount of casual shit you hear about him talking about each other, it's fucking hilarious. They hate each other.
Well, as long as you talk about it and don't actually shoot them, it's fine.
No, it's like a friendly rivalry thing, but they forget it's friendly sometimes. It's brilliant.
Somerset's is the dragon, apparently.
Somerset?
Yeah, Somerset's
it's not.
The dragon.
Somerset.
It was Somerset.
You all in Somerset?
Middlesex was always quite cool. So that obviously Middlesex as a county doesn't exist anymore, but Middlesex used to be quite cool.
I got told off. My first job was at Brewers Fair.
What's the one with 3 swords?
That's
southeast.
Essex. That's Essex.
Oh, that's
and Middlesex used to be the same, but with a crown.
Based.
Did you hear about the town in the deep south? No, not. I think it was in Alabama, who banned a school from flying the Confederate flag, which happened to be a Norwegian flag.
God. Dorset's flag, it's basically a white cross bordered by red with yellow background.
You know you can show us, right?
Yes, I can. I can put it on the screen.
You want to check out
Jake, you're being asked if you have any Royal Ulster Constabulary stuff.
Oh, yes. My right shield is Royal Ulster Constabulary.
I'm also buying police stuff, but not actually like Royal Ulster. I'm looking though.
Yeah, that's my only RUC thing because it's
my
same
groupies in
here. Use, but it's black.
The Paddy Protector Mark 1.
Exactly.
Wait, hold on. I want to see if my babes are in yet.
If John Shanahan joins the chat again, or just check out Aya Military. Sorry, you say it better than me, Luke.
Which one? Era.
Thank you. Era Militaria.
My Irish roots coming in there.
And check his channel out, and you'll find he has a plethora of RUC stuff, including some extremely rare stuff as well.
Follow the rainbow, and you'll get to Era Militaria.
Oh, did I tell you about the drama I'm going through at the minute?
Go ahead.
I don't think you did, but I suppose you're welcome to. But...
Right. Who's read War of the Worlds?
Me.
Read it? No.
Right. Basically, you don't need to. Just read the bit about the Thunderchild. It's fucking amazing. I'm getting a tattoo of Thunder. Yeah, I'm getting a tattoo of Thunderchild.
And
the amount of people... Thunderchild. Are you getting the one that Drakinifel was able to sort of interpolate?
Yeah. Anyway, the amount of people who I was on the Discord server, I was like, "Yo, I'm getting this tattoo," and the amount of people, like, I basically just started a knife war about what the Thunderchild actually looked like, and I was like, "Oh, this is good."
Oh my god, that's an incomplete list. They've scrapped Merseyside probably because it's so bad.
I think this is the old.
Oh no, wait, top. That's like ceremonial counties, I think.
Yeah,
Devon's is quite nice. It's Gloucestershire.
West. Yeah, these are old cat like Westmoreland.
That one, the one with the pears, is my favourite.
Oh, what? Worcestershire.
Yeah, that's him. It's a cool flag.
Why is Essex? Why are Essex's swords basically scimitars?
Yeah, I was wondering that.
You know what I like? The Orkney Island flags, they changed recently as well.
I've seen them and they are quite nice. I am a fan.
Yeah.
To be fair, all of these flags I'm far better than the American state flags.
Agree.
Oh god.
Shit. Apart from with one massive exception. Maryland.
Yes.
Yeah,
Maryland. No.
I like California's.
Hawaii has the Union flag in the top left corner.
California's is good as well.
Yeah. Wait, actually, no. What was it?
Hawaii should be given independence and rebirthed as an independent kingdom and part of the Commonwealth.
What?
Well, Hawaii used to belong to Britain, and then the Americans took it off.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
Yeah. Have you not seen their flag?
No, that's not. It was never part of the British Empire. Basically, the King of Hawaii just liked. It was given a red ensign as a gift, and he just sort of liked it. So he blew that.
That is true. That is true. Actually, yeah.
It was never part of the British Empire. It was actually had its own independent monarchy until the US abolished it.
Oh well, really all right, Ben. Rephrase it. We need to free the Hawaiians from the yoke of American oppression.
That'll do.
Right. Okay.
Gather those ships that do not leak. Gather those rifles that do not jam. Buy 10,000 plane tickets to Hawaii.
Honestly, though, Levi, generally, I highly recommend it. It's such an amazing story. Like, it is such a really good story to read up on. It's brilliant. Hawaiian, a lot of people overlook it, but generally, it's fascinating. So,
the only real thing I know about Hawaii in that sense is that the royal family was so inbred, it got to the point that basically they just physically were not able to reproduce.
No, that's a lie, which was... Yeah, that was a lie spread to basically make America's claim of it seem more legit. It's like false propaganda thing. It was never actually true.
Really? All right.
Yeah, I do recommend you research the history on it because it is genuinely amazing.
Yeah, but it's also Hawaii, which, no offense, has never really interested me anyway.
Yeah, I know, but with these things, like, I do always recommend people get as much knowledge, and if I can recommend something, I always will. So,
Merseyside isn't on here.
Yeah, I think it's quite...
Congratulations, Luke. Merseyside not part of England.
So, like, traditionally, this is... I was going to get onto this earlier, but I may as well, like, give you a bit of, like, local history now. Okay. So long story short, a lot of people from, say, like Wigan, Bolton, the smaller towns that are in Lancashire, kind of like the idea of the ceremonial county of Lancashire coming back because it was technically never dissolved. But the thing is, when they realised they'd have to share a county with with Manchester and Liverpool, they suddenly put that idea on the back burner. It's quite funny. It's quite a large county, Lancashire. Like, seriously.
Where are my trannies?
What?
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 Did I hear that right?
What?
I think I heard something.
What?
Well, I don't know if I want to repeat it in case it was that wrong, but it didn't sound right through my end.
Bearing in mind, I can say it. I can say it, you can't.
Okay, it probably was what I heard then. So where are my trannies?
We can say it up my way, but it's only when we're referring to a van. I don't know.
I may have got bored and left a link to this in a transgender Discord server. Okay. So, no, it just seemed funny.
must say, Nick,
you left the link to Jake's stream in a tranny Discord server.
If you just Google Merseyside flag,
yes, a little bit, yes.
It'll be horrible.
I will say, like, out of combining Lancashire and Yorkshire's flag, Hampshire basically does well.
Did you know technically Yorkshire doesn't exist?
I hope not. I thought it was just a nightmare that was told to scare children.
It's like Australia. It doesn't exist. The flat earthers don't believe it.
Yeah.
Crank 51. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Too many jokes to be made.
If you look at a
county in the Union,
you look at a map, like there's no actual county called Yorkshire. It's called North Yorkshire, South Yorkshire, blah blah blah. The actual county of Yorkshire doesn't exist. So doesn't that make you feel better, Luke?
Foreman.
Wait, what?
No, it makes them feel worse because there's 3 Yorkshires.
Yeah.
Jake. Yes, I have.
Jay Foreman.
Yes. Hey, he's good. Have you seen his Unfinished London series? It's absolutely amazing.
I love it.
It does raise the obvious question of why don't we still have trams?
Was Hampshire just composed by Henry VIII? He just invented Hampshire.
No, so Hampshire has been basically one of the old counties of Wessex, like always has been, because it's referenced by in basically the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle when they've called up the
Domesday Book.
Yeah, I'm trying to, but before that even, that as well. Anyway, but I'm trying to remember the name of what they called.
Does it have a Latin name? I know what you're on about now.
Lancaster.
It's so when they called up basically troops to then fight against the heathen armies and etc. I'm trying to remember the name of what they called when they mustered.
Jake, that's really offensive. They're called Lancaster. It's called Lancaster.
What's that?
It's really offensive to call people from Cornwall heathens.
Whatever. What did you say, Luke?
Would it be a tithe, something like that?
No, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Let me type it into Google. Let me quickly just remove that.
Ooh,
Oh, by the way, Jake, I've decided that I'm going to sell a few more bits from my collection. So I've got this.
what?
I remember mentioning it to you before, Jake. You said it was like either World War II or immediately post World War II officer's side cap for the Royal Artillery.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, do you want it?
Maybe.
If not, I am interested.
Sell me.
It's a fairly large size.
Sell me all your Alpenflage.
Sell me the Hugo kit.
I'm not selling you the Hugo kit. I've barely got it togetgether. I'm still waiting.
But
for
I
one
will
button.
give you 6 dinar.
Yeah.
Look, can you get me a small pocket button for the M55 so I can finally fix the fucking missing button?
No.
Luke, it was they're called Fjords. So FYRD. Fjord.
Fjords.
Oh, Luke.
So basically, was a type of early Anglo-Saxon army that was mobilized from freemen or paid men to defend the Shire's lords' estates from selected representatives to join the expedition, basically. So
Yeesh, that's not good.
The lads with spears.
So they basically said the fjord from Hampshire, the fjord from Dorset, or basically the names at the time, really kind of thing. So yeah. So for example, for the Battle of
Sorry, Jake, have you seen the comments? Dorset is the rightful owner of India.
Oh, they're still not here. God.
Where was the East India Company based? Because if it was based in Dorset, then I suppose there is a claim there.
It was based in the
They're
Taj
all
Mahal.
cousin
It was
fuckers.
based
Think
in
it
the
was-
Taj Mahal restaurant in Brighton.
I think it was based in the East Indies. Indies, even.
Kenny, be kind. And also, yes, they are all cousin fuckers.
Farmers. I thought you said trans farmers. Then I was thinking.
Ah, yes. No, I'm going to transition into a tractor.
We beat them
Oh,
at Passy.
Transformers Ladyboys in the Sky. Sorry, that is my re-giggle though, I'm sorry.
All right.
Oh dear.
Hold on. I want to see if I can turn into a Corvette.
Let's camp out.
Camp out.
See, theory is right, as I've got an excuse to say this. What's yours?
I'm a free man.
You're a man?
You are gay.
Wait, hold on.
dear.
Wait, what?
Yep. What?
Well, I need to recheck my prejudices.
80s lad plus squaddy humour, yes. The 80s were a brilliant time, except when all those occasions when we almost went to nuclear Armageddon.
And if you happen to live up north, which point it was pretty shit.
On the bright
Or
side, at least you
Wales,
got some
or
exercise
Scotland.
every weekend.
Basically anywhere other than London.
Oh dear. I'll add this back to the screen quickly because I want to go back on the. This actually.
Do we want to get back to Militaria?
Nah, this is funny.
I've also got some Swedish trousers I'm going to be selling. The M59 summer one.
Ooh,
But then,
ooh,
do
ooh,
you
get Jake,
remember as well?
take a picture and send it to Jake.
Yeah. Do you remember as well, like, in regards to, say, Winchester being technically the capital of Hampshire anyway, was the capital of Wessex. So it was the home of the king and this, the Great Hall of Winchester. The round
Is that like
table.
the college or something? Or am I getting mixed up?
I've been to Winchester. I mean, it looks like it's an old, nice city, but at the same time, there's not much there.
And funny enough, Winchester is the most expensive place to live in the UK.
What?
I
Honestly,
knew it
yeah.
was expensive. Didn't know it was the most.
Yeah.
I honestly would have said Chelsea.
Oxford is second. London is 8th.
London is 8th.
Yeah.
How much is a pint?
It
That's
depends
the
what
industry.
you go
Yes.
into. Right. Let me. Why did I type in?
But yeah, Levi, if you could send a picture of Jake to them so we can send it to me, I am actually kind of interested.
I would, but I'm on my phone talking to you. The moment I open my camera, I'm going to lose access to the stream.
No, not right now, but when you get chance, that's okay.
All right, fine. I can tell you off the bat, it's for someone who's quite tall.
Show us your trousers, Levi.
But yeah, honestly, if you could just send it, when you get chance tomorrow or something, I'd very much appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Cities by house in general.
Did you guys? Has anyone ever seen like when New Zealand held a competition for flags? I really liked the black one.
The black one with the silver fern.
Oh, I love that. I thought that was a sick flag.
Are we forgetting about Laser Kiwi?
Laser Kiwi, right? So welcome to most expensive places to live in the UK. At number 20, we have Cardiff. 19, Worcester.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 18 is Gloucester.
Wait, what? Really? I used to live there. How's that right?
16 at 17 at Southampton. Canterbury at 16. Bristol is 15. Norwich 14. Leicester 13. Exeter, really? 12. Salisbury is at 11. At number 10, we're in the top 10 people, is St Albans. Chelmsford at number 9. 8 is London. Brighton and Hove, number 7. Cambridge at 6. Chichester is at number 5. Truro is at number 4. Bath at number 3. Oxford number 2. And the top spot for this today at most expensive place to live in the UK is Winchester.
I thought living in a bath would be quite cheap, but...
Right, back in 2 seconds.
No, I don't have any Dorset stuff to sell. The limits of my British kit is purely to 49 pattern at the moment, and I'm semi-debating selling that.
Wonder where Jake's gone.
Duty calls, I would imagine.
He's gone to go upload stuff to his OnlyFans. Got it.
I reckon Liverpool should be its own Scouse nation. We should go to the border with Cheshire and Wales and blow ourselves apart from the UK, become an island.
I'll agree. It'd be funny as hell. Do it, if only for the memes. See, I'm a big believer in fuck it, we'll let future generations deal with it. So, yeah, why not?
One of the few purple flags in the world would be the flag of Liverpool.
Are there actually... Wait, I'm trying to think of any country who actually has a purple flag.
Well, the problem is that purple was such an expensive colour because until chemistry evolved. The only way
until mixing red and blue was invented. Bro, you get red and you get blue.
To be fair, a lot of it is also its association with royalty. So...
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It was so expensive that only royalty could buy purple dye.
Well, I mean, more in recent years. Oh, shit, should find its independence. Yeah, why not? Leave it. Okay. So I'm reading the comments. Where are the funny ones? Where are my transgender people? God damn it.
I could make a really dark joke. But...
wait. Oh, no. What if this stream turned into... yeah, sure. So anyway, how are you guys?
All right.
Trying on my Swiss uniform, seeing if it still fits.
Trying on your what?
Trying on my Swiss uniform, seeing if it still fits.
That's what he calls his gimp shoes.
Well, have you not been to Switzerland?
Well, with all the cheese there, you do need to wear something plastic to keep your hair, to keep your clothes clean.
I have to say, farting in a gimp suit is basically just like a flotation device.
Oh, bro.
Enjoy that mental image, everyone. I'll call it your gift.
Thanks.
Welcome.
I don't know how I'm still awake. I did a fucking 8 till 8 shift, and it's nearly midnight.
You fart in a gimp suit, Alice, and then the Americans shoot you down.
To be fair, Duke, I really want to go to sleep as well, but I'm on call, so I fucking can't.
Ugh. Are you working?
Yeah. I've done my full shift today at the warehouse where I work. Now I'm on call with the RNLI. So.
Oh, well, fucking hell. Hats off to you.
Oh, thank you.
I sounded sarcastic there. I actually wasn't meant to be. I'm just really tired.
Luke gives a compliment, gets punched in the face.
But yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that. Someone who shall remain nameless, Levi, is mean about it.
Are you one of them that like has to do you literally like run out and get on a fucking boat?
Yeah. In Conway, D class. So admittedly the smallest, but yeah, I do that.
Is it true? Yeah, right. You might know what I'm on about. I know Conway, you're a bit west of me, but apparently, like the RNLI, they shut Crosby Sands lifeguard station. So like, if we want a lifeboat, it has to come from North Wales. Is that true?
It wouldn't be us who responds, but I believe so. Yeah. Although, to be fair, with modern day lifeboats, the range has been improved. Plus, I believe your nearest one would be a 7 class. So realistically, the response time would be about the same. Although I do not agree with the lifeboat station being closed.
Yeah, there was a campaign to save it, but it did shut.
I believe that there's also a movement to have not an RNLI one, but a more locally owned lifeboat being available.
I personally think it should just be a public service. I think it shouldn't have to be a charity.
I agree.
Should be an emergency service.
Breaking news just bringing in something for you, Levi. Another one of those weird air anomalies has been shot down over Canada.
What if it's just like a couple of plastic
weird silver thing is over Canada?
It's a Greg's plastic bag.
What if it's
over
just
the Atlantic?
What if a load of kids just got a load of those, those canisters for the drug, and just filled a load of Johnnies with them?
All those people now in Canada who have tinfoil hats are now out and about.
You mean oot in a boot?
Yeah, oot in a boot, yeah.
The goddamn Chinese come and get us.
There's something from the sky here.
Oh, fucking hell. Balloons, man. What a load of hot air. Okay, that was bad.
Dad joke detected.
What a fucking basket case.
That
went up like a lead balloon, didn't it?
It only went down.
Like
I really should stop launching my. Really should stop holding massive balloon parties in America. They don't like it. It's really annoying.
Yeah, it's been shut down by Canada now, apparently.
It's crap when they're actually doing stuff.
What do they use this time? Because they use an F-22 in America.
I don't know. They
fired a moose at it.
Yeah, I was literally about to say, they fired a moose at it, like terminal velocity.
No, what they did is they got the moose to stand at a certain angle, and they attached a massive bungee to its antlers, and they pulled it back a long way.
They used the one rifle that isn't banned in Canada.
She loves the D class. Oh, me too. It's a nice little boat. Oh wait, no, I forgot you're talking about your dick. No. Oh.
You mean
whilst I'm here, Jake,
yeah.
Jake, guess what? Jake, guess what? Yeah. I have been accepted. The next Dunkirk Little Ships thing, I will be going.
Yay! Nice one.
I know, right?
We still don't accept you.
Oh,
that's rude.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
You are well.
The French go, we accept you in this convoy, but you may not set foot on France.
That's fine. No, they're pulling all over the UK for volunteers to help, obviously, because there's going to be a lot of boats there. So they're literally asking all over the UK, and yeah, I will be doing it. That's good. I'm happy. So yeah,
that's good. That's really good. I like that. That's good.
Well, we have to be there in some capacity anyway, but in all honesty, the RNLI did play a role in Dunkirk, so...
Are you going in a modern boat or an old RNLI boat?
I'm mainly going as the RNLI's presence in case something bad happens, so it will most probably be a modern boat. Hopefully, something I've got some experience in, because if they want me in a shallow boat...
It's going to be a narrow boat.
Some motherfucker just buys a trireme.
I'm actually looking to buy one.
Some absolute fucking legend.
That's the free Greek contingent.
They're gonna go across the channel like friggin' Ben Hur. Like over the drum.
Dum, 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 dum.
Wait, what is it? There's one actually going. There's actually a plan for this
Jake,
year.
look out!
Narrowboat
U-boat
to go
starboard,
across.
ramming speed.
There's actually a
I'm telling you,
there's
lads,
actually
what
planned
you
from a
do.
narrowboat from like God knows. I think it was the 1930s, planning on making the crossing sometime next year, and I so want to watch that.
I'm telling you, lads, we get a few trees, chop them into shape, put a big brass nose on it. Then we get all the gym heads, feed them raw meat, and get them on crack, so they can row the way to France.
Fucking hell, we'll be overtaking. Fucking hell, we'll be overtaking bloody hydrofoils. Why can't we do that for Team GB's next rowing team? That would be brilliant.
What? Just some meat heads on crack.
Give the rowing team some crack cocaine before the show.
I think we
Yeah,
should.
why not?
I think we should just all go down to the South Coast and build a bunch of like friggin' like Viking longships and just like go and raid the coast of France.
Right, lads, I have a stupid idea. Yeah, I reckon they should have a separate. I reckon they should have a separate Olympics for people who just take speed.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it will make it so much better. Like hop, skip, and where the fuck did you go?
Oh god, I want that so much.
The long jump would be the longer jump.
100-meter dash in like a split second.
To be fair, Frankie Boyle already did this ages ago on Mock the Week. He said, would you rather watch someone do it in 9.96 seconds, or would you rather watch someone on drugs do it in 5.63 seconds?
No, do you know what I reckon we should do, right? Get people on magic mushrooms, right? And we give them headphones where they're about to do anything. With the constant repeating noise of they're watching you, they're going to get you.
I think we should like do like really mundane games like the people like I don't mind playing snooker, but like do snooker and like chess or whatever, but like on crack.
4, 3, 4, your turn.
Garry Kasparov, vase on crack.
Oh my god, Russia gets done for doping, but it's chess.
But like chess on like LSD, like they're gonna start talking to like the pieces like. Hilarious. Just thinking like the most ridiculous and just like boring events, but like on like some sort of narcotic would just be hilarious.
I do think the equestrian sports would be funnier if the horses were given various.
Oh yeah, I was literally about to say make the horse.
Cat.
Oh dear.
I mean, what is dressage anyway?
Dressage.
Yeah, it's like I know a comedian said it before me, but it is basically a sport for gay horses.
Yeah,
it honestly sounds like foreplay. I'm not gonna lie.
I will give you the dressage.
It's gay horses who couldn't make it into the national.
Legit.
Well, it is sort of like their fathers were very concerned, and they didn't grow up to be like, "Oh, I want you to run in the national." And all this sort of like, no, I want to dance.
Oh. It's like Billy Elliot, but the horse.
Yeah, but the horses. Like the whole movie set to like constant reruns of the Osmonds' Crazy Horses rather than T-Rex.
It's like two fucking horses. Like, we gotta give him a chance, man.
They're all going like all the horses are going on strike against the national in Chelmsford. So no, I want to dance. Like all these horses shouting at other horses in horse boxes going by, shouting "scab."
Oh my god.
Oh. And all the policemen are like jockeys. With that, they come out.
With the whips.
Yeah. With the
They're all
rocking-
midgets. They're all Irish midgets. Jesus Christ.
That is going to be like that's what we're going to do this year. We're going to create a parody film of Billy Elliot about horses.
I reckon that would actually work, though. You know.
That would be yes. Right. It's copyrighted here. It's our own. Oh my god, that'd be amazing. Yeah, just like a bunch of horses, like a big horse box going past through the gates. Go to the horse picket line. Oh, Jesus Christ. And I like that bit where like Billy's brother is like running through all the houses. He's like it's just a horse running through loads of different stables. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh. Levi, are you still there?
Yep.
Oh.
Although I am gonna have to go in a moment though, because especially if I'm driving to Chatham tomorrow, I do need to get some sleep.
Yeah, true. You're right, Alice.
No.
What's the matter?
My cousin just rang me. Basically, I got a clock in my sister's will, and now they're getting shitty that I actually didn't give it to them.
Oh, that's fun.
You've got
right?
a clock in your sister's wheel.
Will.
Oh, will.
Yeah. And now they're getting shitty that I can't give it them because the plan was they wanted to sell it, and now they're just giving me over it.
Well, if her will says you've got the clock's now up to you, and if you want to keep it, that's your choice.
So yeah, sorry, I had to go deal with that. I'm back though. I'm having a bad day.
You
just to cheer me up.
I think you missed mine and Luke's new film idea.
Or is it BoJack Elliott?
So basically, Alice, we are recreating Billy Elliot but with horses.
Yes. The
father
I will give you all my money.
The father wants his son, i.e., another horse, obviously, to be a.
The stallion wants the foal.
Yeah, the stallion. He basically wants him to be like a runner in the Grand National, but he really wants to be in dressage.
You're no horse of mine.
I will literally give you all.
Why the long face?
I will give you all my money into this project.
You're a horse, not a unicorn.
No horse of mine is going to do some poof dressage.
Remember earlier when we were talking about history?
Are you a horse or are you an ass?
Hey, Luke, just out of curiosity, do you know where I can find an Irish MRE? Because I've got one, but I kind of want another one so I can actually like try it and review it on my TikTok.
An Irish MRE?
Yeah, I can't remember what they're actually called.
I've never seen them though. God.
I have got one, but I'm too scared to open it, and I don't know when I can find another. But I do want to review one on my TikTok and start doing that sort of stuff.
Basically, an Irish MRE is a bag of chips.
Yes, bag of potatoes.
No, a bag of potatoes. Yeah.
Yes, they get the potato.
It's just a potato, just like by itself.
One pack of potato in the ration.
One pack of potato, one pint of Guinness. But yeah, if you do come across one, because I know you're looking
no, Jake. The drink option is isotonic drinking powder for Guinness.
Yeah. By the way, do you guys actually like look at those sort of things? Because I want to say the American ones have gone downhill.
What, the MRE?
Like, yeah, the actual US ones, they've gone downhill.
I can't say I've ever had one, but I have been told never, ever, ever to go near the omelette in an American MRE.
They've stopped producing it now.
I just don't like that type of food. I don't even really like those noodles that you leave to boil and stuff because they're not good for your stomach.
I take them. I do use them, not rare ones, but whatever I can find when I do wildlife photography, because I'm generally out there for a day or two. But other than that, I wouldn't choose to eat one. And if there's any other option for me to take anything else, I generally do.
Like there's some good ones you can get. Like it depends, especially the British ones.
French ones are amazing. French ones are really good because it's not really MRE.
The Korean ones apparently are quite interesting. Yeah.
I've tried a PLA one, and yeah, no, don't go anywhere near them.
They're like cardboard.
No, there are some.
You're right. You okay?
The noodles have got him.
Most noodles are wax coated. Yeah.
Are you saying that Madame Tussauds is London's largest noodle producer?
Oh dear. Sorry, I'm still thinking of.
You're still thinking of gay horses prancing around.
Billy Horseman.
It's you could say, Jake, this is nightmarish.
Shut the fuck up.
Why won't you be a proper horse?
the one Ugandan horse. Tell me, why are you gay?
Lad, that was meant to be Geordie. Was that bad? What I was trying to do then?
No, I was thinking where you go, and then I was sort of figuring out what you were doing. Yeah, you were trying to be. Yeah. Oh, and then there's a spin off to that where it's like the horse version of Brassed Off. Oh, which horse gets to play Pete Postlethwaite?
I don't know.
No, I think she might have got a call. I'm not too sure because she's on call for the RNLI tonight. So
Best of luck, Alice.
Yeah.
I'm not retard that sees an ambulance going past and I wish them good luck. I'm a retard, I know.
What do you clap?
No, I don't fucking clap. I just go good luck, lads.
Look, do you clap when the plane lands?
It's like there's people who are on a plane who clap when the plane lands. It's like, shut up. Just like
Luke's from the north. It's black magic. He's happy to be alive.
Well, you know, big metal bed, no crash.
We got here safely. Yay!
Again.
Not being funny, if you've ever flown Ryanair, they fucking crash it into the runway.
Sometimes there are hard landings. Yeah.
I think it was to do with her family stuff. So she just messaged me.
Answering the door in a horse head is okay. There's a spin-off for your film. Someone's impersonating the horse.
Well, the thing is, no, all the characters are going to be dressed up in like pantomime horse outfits, so it's even more ridiculous.
What if they do? What if they do like that scene from The Godfather, but it's a human head?
I was just
not a
about to
horse
say
one?
the horse mafia get involved. They leave a human head in the duvet.
Oh God.
Sponsored by Findus. I'm running out of horse jokes here.
It's sponsored by Prittstick.
Oh,
Sponsored
God.
by. What's that region of France where they eat horse meat? There you go. Sponsored by Tesco's. There you go. Sponsored by that one Romanian food processing factory.
It's sponsored by the horse meat scandal of the mid-2000s.
Yes. Suddenly everyone is wondering, was that bolognese really beef?
Why do I have a sudden craving for hay? Oh dear.
God, the 2000s really were a time. Yeah, sponsored by Tesco's Ready Meals. Yeah.
I'm gonna call it a day.
No worries, dude.
Well, it's good to speak.
Yeah, no, you too, mate. By next weekend, I want to see a script for this film.
Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna buy like a bunch of like pantomime horse outfits or just like hobby horses or whatever it be. And now when we all go to friggin' Overlord, I want to try and recreate like a scene.
Oh my god, you'd get a hobby horse and become a fucking cavalryman.
We'll all bring like swords and shit. We'll all charge into the beer tent at night.
Fucking jousting.
We get like really long baguettes. Just
Broomsticks.
Have everyone race. It's like the Grand National. Oh, fucking hell.
All I
Oh,
can
God.
see is this ending badly.
Oh, come on. Have a little fun.
One of the guys falls when they're doing with the horse, and then we got to put him down.
Yeah. He's in the pony space, don't you know? He's broken his leg. We've got to shoot him.
Like we all gather around him with like a tent. We put up a tent over him, and then the sound of a single gunshot.
Reverse kneecap.
No, we just need a bolt gun.
And all the furlongs are like people's like equipment and other displays.
And it's Jake. He's past the first furlong. He's past the second furlong. Oh, he's past the East Germans, and that's the halfway point.
Coming up to the first furlong. Oh, it's a Vickers machine gun. He's over that.
All right, guys. No.
All right. Have a good one, mate. See you later.
Billy the 50 Shades of
That is a weird fucking film if that ever happened. Jesus.
50 Shades of Ass. How donkeys and mules exist.
Jesus Christ.
I think Jesus is weeping out of it.
Oh dear. Jokes lists a story of a mule. Oh god.
Oh god. Schindler's List, but with horses for the glue factory.
Oh no, no. Oh, and then just that one horse wearing red.
This one horse wants to exterminate all the mules.
Thing is, that bit on the balcony, it's not a rifle, it's a bolt gun. Oh no, we've got to stop talking about this now. This is going too far. Oh, Blade Runner with horses.
Let's just go the whole hog. Star Wars with horses. I am your stallion.
Darth Mare. Oh dear. Jesus.
The mule with the god. The zebra.
Oh dear. Mule Wars. No, it's a story about apartheid. It's a story about an apartheid horse Africa, and like the
Saving Private Stan.
The zebra has to go into hiding because he's mixed race.
What did you miss? Yeah, we were horsing around.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is so
Mule Wolf, the story of a horse who wanted to play football.
This started so well. We had Simon Moore on. And we're talking about horse movies. What is wrong with my streams?
That's on you, I'm afraid. I was more than happy to get back to...
You're not bloody innocent. Judith. Oh. Don't throw me under the bus yet.
I'm throwing you under the horse, mate, not under the bus.
We haven't even had the friggin' Last Supper. Oh, God. Zach, you missed a whole lengthy bit on about horse-related movies, i.e., like a horse version of Billy Elliot. Just be hilarious. Oh, dear.
The breeding fields. Hamburger Hill.
Oh God.
The story of the horse that found out what happened to his mates.
Oh, Titanic, but with horses. There's enough room on that barn door for the both of us.
Jesus Christ.
The laughs of the mules. Oh.
At this rate, Crank 51, we need to know how you are coming up with so many horse related.
War human, not war horse. Past Alley. Oh my God. Just. Oh.
Human farm.
Oh. Oh my God. The hunt for Red Horse Tober.
The hunt for the seahorse.
Downfall, but with horses.
Downfall, but with
1970.
That one scene is a whole bunch of mules meeting the big horse who's giving them little medals.
It's just one really stubborn donkey.
No.
For like 10 minutes.
9.
Oh, good Lord, we've descended into like anarchy here. Oh, I'm trying to think of more now. Bridge over the River Mule. Where horses dare.
Where stallions dare. The Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, shut up. Horse game.
Cabin in the Woods with horses.
The God Horser Part 1. God save the king.
Horton hears a horse.
Oh dear. Type notes are ass. Oh my God, these are so good and so crap at the same time.
Sorry, Simon, if you're watching.
Honestly, if he's watched till this point, I'd give him his props. Like, Jesus Christ, some of the stuff we talked about, it's just.
It started so well. It started
really,
with us on military and history.
It really did. There was a weird bit before Simon joined, which we'll talk about, which was weird, and then then we went on to talk about Tick. I don't even know where we've gone with this. Hasn't been as bad as some other streams, but it's been okay. But it's just been bizarre. Breaking Mule.
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
The Wizard of Ass. I love these. Crank is on fire. And Zach's got some good ones too. Quarter Horse Cabin. Mustang Gump. Oh.
Harry Trotter.
I like that. That's more pig related though. Oh dear.
Harry Trotter and the Goblet of Glue.
I like that a lot. The
Harry Trotter and the Prisoner of Dachau.
Crank, that last one is more of a certain type of film you pay for late at night in a hotel.
Yeah, that does sound like something that you'd get at a shady hotel.
Harry Bongo. Oh dear. Oh. Adolf Trotting. Jesus Christ. Someone's
Give you
been wondering if they're just popping in and just looking at the comments thinking, what the hell is going on?
Well, they're horsing around. Keeping
Yeah.
up with the car stallions. I'm sorry, that and on the
Hey,
bright side, you wouldn't have to do any makeup with the arses.
It should all be sorted now. If I have to leave again, it's because someone's drowning.
Right, no.
Hooray!
Yeah.
Oh,
So
dear. Welcome back. The comments have gone mad with renaming films for horses, but
I'm really annoyed none of you said Horse Runner.
only asses and humans.
The Maze Runner, but spelled Maize.
Yeah.
Oh. Keeping up with the car stallions. I like that one. Oh dear. I'm trying to think of more now.
Do you remember earlier on when me and you were having a really, really intellectual debate about?
Yeah, we just said the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Artemis Fowl.
Oh God.
It's an Artemis Fowl. Artemis Fowl.
Shut up. Jesus Christ.
I dropped too far.
I can't think. You said that because I want to buy a beer.
That's crank.
Crank, I owe you a beer.
At some point.
If we meet in person, I'll get you wankered for that one. I like that.
Sorry, what are you doing?
What, is it not one of those sort of streams?
It went from beer to all of a sudden doing something else.
No, I want to get him wankered.
Oh, right, thank God.
It's one of those public toilets events. Oh, yeah. Alice is very into that show, Hole in the Wall.
I regret coming back on now.
I know. Actually, no. So instead of like films, maybe like TV shows. Inspector Horse.
Horsey Holmes.
Horses under the hammer.
Sherlock Horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, Horses Under the Hammer is a very different kind of show.
One I'd pay much though. Actually, that should be on Sky Sports.
Question Horse.
Love Island would be different.
Can I have a question? How the hell did this even start? I'm curious.
I don't know anymore.
I'm breaking out an emergency monster to try and preserve some brain cells.
No, Crank 51. It's Full Metal Jackass.
Oh, I like that one.
Oh God.
Trying to think of Breaking Bad / Horses because.
Oh, I think that's been done.
Ah, crap. In case I haven't been here for a lot of it, don't shout at me. I'm special.
Yeah, a lot of these at the moment just sound like pornos.
Game of Foals.
2 girls, 1 stallion. I don't know.
2 girls, 1 hay bale.
Can't pay will take away your horse.
Again, I'm pretty sure that's actually a show for the tops. Oh no, they've taken Buttercup! Oh heavens!
Right, honestly though, like there's an episode of Can't Pay Will Take It Away when they go to Swindon Football Club.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's an episode of Can't Pay Will Take It Away where they go to Swindon Football Club to get basically several £1,000s in what's owed.
Lol.
That's quite funny.
Do they just take a player?
Sorry?
Do they just take a player?
No, I think it was something else. They were in debt with something. I can't remember what it was. But I'm trying to think of more. I'm trying to think of more TV shows.
I'm gonna call it a night for the moment. I'll leave you and Alice to be.
Winnie the Ass.
Bye, Levi.
Paddington Horse.
See you later, dude.
Oh, he's gone. Oh, so what did I miss? Did you miss me?
No horse. These open like horse boxes.
So
There's
I'd
a
like
horse
to
in there,
play.
you win something. If there's not a horse, you don't.
You know, I could just imagine a TV exec coming across this stream and half these ideas come to life.
The horse chase.
Again, just go to some. I guarantee you that's a porno somewhere. You go on the internet far enough, you'll find it.
What is it? Rule 43 or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I've seen some fucked up shit, man.
Oh dear. Oh, I'm trying to think of like more TV shows now. Judge Horsey.
You know,
Um,
have you ever heard of bronies, by the way?
sorry,
Bronies.
have I heard of them?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not one to tell people how to live their life, but why? Why is bronies?
Yeah. You could say the same thing. Why? But I don't know. I don't know.
I don't see the appeal. Like,
Have you seen that video of that guy who says he looked into it, he then became one, and then starts singing the theme tune?
yes,
It's fucking my soul dies, and I think there's no possibility to save humanity. But you know, whatever. Rule
do you know
34.
fox
Thank you,
hunting? Do you know fox hunting? I don't
Yes.
think it should be illegal. I just think they should change the definition of a fox. You know, like man with a fox persona. I don't see any reason why that's anything different.
I'm fox and fox self. No, you're prey. Set loose the beagles.
I'm just saying it would be a funny thing to watch. Again, I'd watch this on Sky TV.
Yeah, I think we should let all these people who want to be furries loose in some woodland in North Carolina for a weekend.
Did you hear about that man who was dressed up as a deer and got shot by hunters?
Yeah, that was absolutely fucking hilarious.
I mean, he was a deer, so I can't see why it's any different.
Breaking Bad, but bad, except I'm making catnip.
By the
Band of
way,
Asses, like again, like Crank. All these are just pornos. Lord of the Ass, again, like that just sounds like a gay movie.
that is a porno.
Band of Horses, Lord of the Horse.
What is it with you guys? Is Crank a brony?
I fucking hope not. For his sake.
God, I do get worried about people. I really do.
Oh, good lord.
Also, John, really bad now.
What's that?
Right, all your people who actually know about military stuff are gone, which means you're stuck with me. So don't expect it to go don't expect the conversation to go uphill at any point.
You know about trains, Thomas the Tank Horse.
Again, brony fandom's done it. That was some fucked up shit, man.
I don't even want to even think.
You've seen the Thomas Tank Engine before. You'll want to kill yourself.
This is what happens when people have no, substance in life.
I know. Do you know there's actually meant to be something coming up in Parliament about making internet a right for everyone? I think I should just let them loose on the internet for a while and make them make their own decisions about it.
You should be allowed to access internet, but you shouldn't have a right to it. Some people shouldn't have a right to leave their house, really, generally because they're a threat to society. But then again, I can't say that at all.
I think it's more because it's so intertwined with everyday life. So
the problem is now people think that everything should be a right. Like, no, like you can't have. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it should be made accessible to people. Hands down.
Yeah. This is what I mean. Opportunity, but making it everyone the right, which means someone's got to freaking pay for it.
Yeah, but
the hardest going to be bloody us.
Yeah. I don't know. I think again, making it more accessible, making it for people who don't have that option is more than agreeable. But making it so it's like you can just
there's plenty of libraries around with access to the internet. Like, just
Yeah. Plus, I believe as well that there's already. I think the plan is to give a scheme to low-income households and people going through education who can't afford it access, like, paying X amount for a certain amount of data or something. I don't really know. But
yeah. But the fact is, though, most people have a mobile phone these days anyway, with access to the internet in the first place.
Oh, I agree.
If it be through free Wi-Fi or whatever, so it seems a bit redundant, really. Like,
yeah, I agree. But
like the vast majority of people within the West, anyway, access the internet through their phones now, rather than say on a computer, like a standalone computer, even a laptop. So,
no, I agree. But still, it's just something worth thinking about.
So,
anyway,
and generally, you can get a phone that can access the internet for fairly cheap, like, which is probably more affordable than any sort of computer they may want to buy.
Exactly. I think if it's done properly, I think it's a good idea. But again, I'm not up for paying for some. If it's an educational tool, sure, for someone who might not be able to afford it, because there's always going to be the 0.1% who generally, however much it is, who generally can't afford it. I'm fine with that. But I'm not paying X amount for someone to go gaming,
And the thing is, the majority of people in the UK in general who have very little or no access to the internet, not through their own choice or not, are the elderly anyway. So that's the thing. It's like, well, and most of them don't really want to use it. So,
well, again, I still think that having something in place for the people who do want to use it.
Absolutely,
But again, I'm not paying for some twat to play fucking Overwatch.
Yeah. Oh God, Crank and Zach are going out between Ireland and God save Ireland.
Who played that? I can't remember his name. The guy who played him.
Oh, what? Who played Fraser? No, not Fraser. Fucking.
No, that's a TV show set in Seattle. How did you get those two mixed up?
I was. It's Patrick Harper.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. I for some reason Fraser came to mind, but that's Dad's Army. But
that's racist.
Shut up.
You love it. By the way, where's your hamburger? Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, last time it went weird. Are you okay? Do you need a hug? I'm okay to give you a hug. Hi, hamburger.
His name is Carl.
Oh, hi, Carl. By the way, you got any?
His pronouns are Ber and Ger.
What my pronouns are: confused screaming and that noise people make when they roll their eyes.
His pronouns are let us alone.
Did you hear, right? Do you know people used to say, I want to identify as a attack gunship for fun? There's actually someone who does identify as an attack gunship, and
and now they're in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those people who identified as attack helicopters have now been recruited.
I want to see how long it takes for them to...
They walk around Kyiv making noises like rollerblades.
Just some Ukrainian going, please help me, need to support you to see some twat running around the field.
Throwing water balloons.
Have you... They've got Sea Kings now, haven't they? The Sea Kings have arrived now, haven't they?
I have no idea.
I want to say they have.
For all I know, they've sent paper airplanes with with crosses on them. I don't know.
I must admit, I'm not going to get into politics of war because, quite frankly, I don't want to start an argument. But I am finding it really interesting the way Ukrainians have come up with killing Russians.
I don't know. It's a whole. It's a shitstorm, really. The whole bloody thing.
You got to admit, though. You got to admit that.
Yeah.
What?
Sorry, Zach just spoke about wanting to eat Carl.
I'd laugh if there was someone in the back in your corner called Carl currently having a panic attack. But yeah,
look at his face and tell him that. Tell him.
My Bosch Busters arrived, by the way.
Sorry, your what?
Do you know that 00 gauge railway artillery piece?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah, I love it, and the fucking thing's broken.
Fun times.
So that's going to take me a good week to fucking repair. Yay.
It's like I identify as an M24 chappie.
I identify as HMS Hood.
Yeah,
if you excuse me, I'm going to go sing.
Yeah, if you get too pissed off, you just explode randomly.
I must admit, I would.
Enter the room with the German, you just combust.
That's only in case I forget to shut my interiors off.
Oh.
Like, so if I clench really hard, it should be okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Christ. Right. Won't go on much longer because I'm getting bloody tired myself.
Yeah, to be fair, I need to head down to make sure everything's working down there.
Yeah, I've had some family shit my side as well, so it's been fun. So,
you okay?
Yeah.
Need a hug?
Yeah, no, it's mother half's family, but no, I'm alright. It's just it was a bit out of the blue last night, so yeah, but no, it's all good. It's all good for the moment. Anyway.
About to say, you have got an emotional support mannequin behind you.
Thank you very much, and a burger.
And a before you go, I have got questions, which I didn't want. Right.
It's a minute. Yeah.
Oh no, I'll be there in a sec. Put a burger in. Anyway, joke's on you. I'm outside. Anyway, so during the Falklands War,
yeah.
Is it like so? The Belgrano.
Yeah.
Right. It was technically in. Just because, again, I'm finding arguments about this and I'm confused.
It was an old American cruiser, yeah.
Yeah. Was it technically people saying it's a war crime that it was torpedoed because it was outside the exclusion zone? I'm not sure.
No, like the British had already given a thing of anything outside the exclusion zone that could pose a risk to British forces or naval forces will be open to be fired upon. And even the captain of the Belgrano said he had orders to attack the British fleet. So
fair enough. No, because I keep finding people going, "Oh, it was a war crime. It was unjust."
It wasn't a war crime, no. Like, I'm sorry, but like, we didn't fire the first shots of the war. War hadn't been declared yet, but war was already happening. If we liked it or not, really, at that point. Yeah. So
no, I know what you're saying.
The Belgrano was a threat. Like, sinking the Belgrano shifted the war completely in the favor of us. Completely, because it sent the entire Argentine Navy, which included an aircraft carrier, by the way, back to port.
Did it? Didn't know they had an aircraft carrier.
Yeah, they had an old aircraft carrier. Yeah, called the Cinco de Mayo.
Let me guess, ex-American.
I can't actually. It might have been ex-British. Actually, I can't even remember.
Huh. Let's say. Yeah. Wasn't I remember reading as well that America really, really, really didn't want Britain to intervene.
At first, yeah. After everything started kicking off a bit more, America generally picked sides really after a while. But at first, not so much. The I can't remember the foreign secretary to the president or whatever her name was. She was more of a proponent for Argentina, really, and Haig was more of a he was the intermediary, but he did sort of more favour the British on that sort of side. But it's a whole confusing thing. But in my personal view, the Belgrano was a perfectly legitimate target and was perfectly legitimising the sinking.
No, I do agree. It's just people who.
Oh yeah, no, because
they're trying to make. A lot of them was called Juan. Is wearing a sombrero on a donkey. are generally saying that it was. No, it wasn't.
Yeah. They've generally got a point to push. Either they're anti-British or whatever, or they're Argentinian, or whatever they want to sort of thing. But no, it was completely legitimate, and even the captain of the Belgrano has appreciated that it was legitimate. Like, I'm sorry, he had orders from the Argentine government to attack the British fleet wherever he found it.
Yeah.
And we had orders to attack Argentine ships wherever we found them, if they were a threat to our forces, which they were. It was a cruiser, and the destroyers that escorted it possibly had exocets. Not necessarily they did, but they possibly had exocets, which could pose a threat to the entire fleet. The entire
not only that, but her guns were still, well, she got close enough. She still had, what, 6?
Oh, yeah. She had 12 8-inch guns.
Which, again, even just that is a threat.
Actually, no, 8-inch or... There are the 8-inch or 6-inch, but even so, larger than most of what the Royal Navy had on their standard, as on their ships as standard for general conventional guns. And then again with 2 fairly modern destroyers, and then you have the Northern Task Force, which was consisting of the Cinco de Mayo, which is their aircraft carrier, and other vessels as well, basically forming a pincer movement around the islands from the north and the south to pincer the task force from both sides at once.
Yeah, exactly. So, quite frankly,
and with the withdrawal of the Cinco de Mayo, all Argentine aircraft had to come from the mainland.
Didn't they have like 3 minutes of airtime over the Falklands?
Yeah, very, very little time, because they all had to come from the mainland. If the aircraft carrier was down there, it could have possibly tipped the balance more in favor of the Argentinians in the air, because they would have had aircraft up more longer and quicker.
Although, to be fair, I do think it was one of the cases of, I genuinely think, given enough time, the Belgrano and hell, even the aircraft carrier would have become, they wouldn't have lasted the war. Because I highly doubt that they would have been able to deal with a submarine threat.
Yeah.
Because that was, so either one way or another, that they would have been fucked up.
And there were some Argentine submarines in the area as well, which then, excuse me, subsequently went back to port. But bear in mind, even before Belgrano was sunk, we'd already basically knocked out a... Actually, let me just double check, actually. Give me a second. Before I say this and get it completely wrong.
I'll do what I do. Just blame it on fake news. I'll blame it on the Argentinians.
Let me just quickly double check when it was. Fate. Okay, that was 2nd of May. It was sunk, and then Santa Fe submarine. There we go. Fate. Okay. Oh no, that was no. Here we go. Scuttle. When was that? Sorry, I'm trying to find the actual.
No, that's all right.
And then sorry, Santa Fe supported that. April Santa Fe was on fatal attack. April. Yeah, like we'd obviously all before the Belgrano even happened, we'd already attacked and destroyed a Argentine submarine.
Yeah.
So it wasn't exactly escalating anything. Like we'd already knocked out the garrison that had gone to take South Georgia. So including knocking out and putting several rounds of several rocket rounds and cannon rounds through the conning tower of a submarine in Grytviken Harbour.
That was a Wasp that did that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a Wasp,
yeah. I know something about history, not a lot, but I do.
As well as Western Wasp dropped basically dropped a torpedo. It failed to strike home, but strafed the strafed it with 7.62 rounds, and then I think
I know it prevented it from being able to dive, didn't it?
Well, it was in the harbour anyway, so it was too shallow anyway. But yeah, they basically put enough rounds to the conning tower so it couldn't dive anyway.
Yeah, which I consider it knocking it out, but that's just me.
And the thing is, even like rifle rounds can do quite a bit of damage to a submarine.
Yeah, they've not got a mass. They've not got. It's thought they'd have a thicker hull.
Yeah, especially in the conning tower anyway. But yeah, and that was the Santa Fe. So it's the whole Belgrano thing always baffles me. Oh, and this and that, it was a war crime. Like, it's not a war crime. It's not a war crime at all.
I mean, to be fair, the people who say that failed to ignore the Atlantic conveyor, which also happened outside the exclusion zone.
Exactly.
And was technically a civilian vessel.
Yes, it was carrying like military supplies, so it was a ship of war in that sort of sense. But in the sense of the Belgrano was hit after the Exocets retargeted after the destroyer covering ships of the task force threw up chaff. So, because the missiles were probably targeting either the outlying destroyers of the task force or the carriers themselves, but they then redirected towards the Atlantic conveyor. But that was almost like it's a strange thing because like it's all quite difficult really, and obviously then because you have the sinking of the Atlantic conveyor, and then which was after and everything, but then you also have like the sinking of HMS Sheffield almost immediately, almost only a short time after the sinking of the Belgrano, which people see like, and then like that was even like even more horrific in some sort of way. Yes, I know more people died on Belgrano, but again, it's strange. I don't know.
Didn't the sinking of the Sheffield as well make the Royal Navy go, fuck, we really need to start improving our ships' damage control systems and things like that?
Yeah,
because
there was and it was mainly the way the ships were built because they're built out of aluminium.
They weren't originally supposed to be built like that. They were supposed to.
It was a cost-cutting measure.
Yeah,
and it meant they could churn out cheap destroyers very quickly.
Well, originally that was only meant to be ships they were planning on exporting to be. Yeah,
but they were put into service, and the anti-air systems weren't up to scratch, or the fact of like Sheffield had its radar off whilst it was using other systems, which was another flaw. Because it
sounds like time. Oh, does that sound like another ship which is recently sank, which sounds familiar?
But yeah, no, Exocet are a very effective weapon, like really, really effective.
It's not something I wish to ever have to come across.
No, exactly. And at the time, they were very state of the art, and we're just lucky the Argentines didn't have more. Because we pushed very, very hard to the French to stop selling them, so to the Argentines even. So yeah, one of those things. But anyway,
who said it? There was a British politician, I forget who basically just openly up and said, "Good God, politics ruined such a lovely war."
With the Sheffield and several other ships like her, they were built out of aluminium, which meant it burns very easily, and doesn't really.
Plus the insulation on the ships was incredibly flammable. Not really something you want in a warship or a ship.
Not really, no. But then again, like it's one of those things which doesn't really pop up until wartime happens, and then all these cost-cutting measures show really what happens. That's the problem when we came out of the 1970s. All this sort of thing, like it was bizarre. And then the Royal Navy gets a whole new revamp through the 80s to be rebuilt and new destroyers to be brought in. Like
Mm.
we'd lost several. Like Royal Navy losses was not light. Like it was the first. Like Sheffield was the first Royal Navy ship sunk since the war, since the Second World War. So
yeah.
excuse me.
What is it? Someone says complacency causes, and I do think a little bit of that's played into it, because I don't think at the time the British were really expecting to find themselves in a war by themselves so quickly.
Yeah, but honestly, I didn't. I think honestly, genuinely, that no other country at that time would have probably been able to pull it off. Even
no, I
the
agree with you on that one.
Even the Americans, I don't think they would have been able to pull it off as effective as it did happen. Yes, there were a lot of cock ups, like at Fitzroy and Bluff Cove, and other things. And
well, name one conflict that wasn't
the BBC broadcasting of prior to the attack on Goose Green and the Paras getting pissed off that they did that, and things of that nature. But in general, it was a very successful campaign, which was solved that started in April, ended in June.
Yeah.
So.
No, I do agree. It's a very interesting thing to. It's generally a very interesting thing to read up on, and you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Basically, what I'm saying to people, if there's anyone watching, go read a history book. It's interesting. Admittedly, everyone in there's normally dead, but still. But yeah,
no, absolutely. Right. To all those watching, I really appreciate you guys watching. I'm going to end it now anyway, just because I'm getting very, very tired. And
same.
It's been a long day, and it's been good. So thank you guys for watching. Anyone who's watching,
bye everyone.
Have a good evening. Thanks, Zach and Crank for staying on quite late. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone who's joined me tonight. Thank you to Luke. Thank you to Alice. Thank you to Levi. Thank you to Simon and anyone else who's been in the chat as well. So really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys later.
Remember, always tip your waitresses.
World peace.